Take it.
Hey guys, welcome to Down Under Network. We are at round one of the ANZ Team Championships.
Finally.
Finally.
Happening.
It's been a long week getting us to here, and we are super pumped. Let me just stop getting my little echo here going. Yes, so we will be live streaming for the entire weekend. It is going to be long.
It's going to be long, guys. So right now we're at Ground Zero. We have Team Victoria and Team Western Australia about to begin their pairings, which you can all see on the lovely webcam. We've got a great table set up. Now, one thing I'll point out to you guys that we're doing a bit differently. So if you look to the left of the webcam, you'll see a little side table we've set up. So if you look at we've got dice in rows of 5. So when a game's going on, that's going to be a player's command point pool. And when they use a command point, they take them away or put them back in. And so we should always be able to see and get a clear image of how many command points they got. And then the big D20 dice is hopefully going to track their victory points. So, and we'll keep that updated on our overlay as well.
All right, and we'll give a shout out to Big Headest 1988, which I'm assuming is Andrew Armstrong from Victoria, current coach of the ETC 2019 team, and ETC 18 Mum 40K, that'll be Sonia. So Sonia is Simon Gojcevic's partner, and so Simon was the 2018 team captain.
Yep.
And Sonia came over and was basically making sure everything was running to. Sorry, we're a little bit new to Twitch.
Yeah.
We're looking at the stream chat, and totally not panics. I think. Oh, I'm trying to think if I know who that might be.
Identify yourself.
Identify yourself.
We need to know. All right, but so we've got the pairings happening right now. Where are we at? We know what's happening. What's going down.
So we are Team Vic versus Team WA. It is actually, if you bear with me 1 second, I'm just going to bring up the pairing screen for us. So far, Team Vic have put up their Yanari list, piloted by Jeremy Martino, and
we are
it looks like they have paired that against Thomas White.
Who's also...
I have a feeling that potentially they have put up their Yanari list, both of them, and they don't know how to enter a player score sheet. So I'm going to be right back.
My dulcet tones. Alright. So I'm just going to quickly run over Jeremy's list for you guys, because Jeremy was a list that we noted as one that was a bit of a standout. For those interested. So Jeremy Martino, he starts with an Tabletop battalion. He has a Farseer, a Spirit Seer, 3 units of Rangers. One of them has 6 in it for some reason. Who knows? He's a lucky guy. Then we have a Wave Serpent with 3 Shuriken Cannons, Spirit Stones, a Yanari battalion with Yvrain, who has Tenacious Survivor. As we all know, that's probably the best way to go. And then a Spirit Seer who with Bale Tan and the Spirit Stones of Anathalan. Then we have 3 units of Rangers, 2 9-man Shining Spear units, and 10 Dark Reapers. So that is a pretty good list. It's almost as good as you can make Yanari these days. It's pretty much top tier. That's one to watch out for. Now, where are we at? Who have they been paired with?
So far, they've just put up both their Yanari lists.
They're playing hardball, both of them, aren't they?
Yeah, so it'll be exciting to see. Well, basically, Tom White is probably one of their most veteran players on the WA ATC team. So Tom White has played in every single ATC ever. As of this year, he is the only... Oh, I'm just getting another question. I'm going to be right back.
Sorry, this will not be happening throughout the entire weekend. This is the problem when the guy you work with runs the system that everyone is using, and he is needed. So, much to do. So we're just going to pull up Tom White's list as well, and we'll have a gaze at that. See how he compares to the one we just talked about. So, we've got Tom White's list has been put up. He is playing for WA. We'll tell you all about that. I'll get it up right now. So they're both chucked up their Yanari players. That's pretty interesting. That means they're starting with one of their strongest lists. Thomas White, okay, he has Asunari and Yunari as his keywords. He's got an LA Talk Battalion, Farseer, Warlock, 3 Insta Rangers, 1, 2, 3 Wave Serpents, so it's pretty defensive right there already. And then he has a Flyer Wing with a Crimson Hunter, another Crimson Hunter, both Exarchs with Star Cannons, and then he has a Hemlock Wraithfighter. And then for his third detachment, he has Yvrain with Dire Avengers and Dark Reapers. So that's a bit more of a defensive play than the full-blown, what Jeremy's got with the full-blown Shining Spears, but it's very defensive, and it's actually quite a good counter to getting a lot of points out of his missions against
For sure.
Teams that could 20 her.
Oh, for sure. So I've had a question from the live chat asking why the table cam is so laggy. So basically what we've done is we've kept the resolution relatively low to make sure that a number of things come across as crisp as we can. We've zoomed in a reasonable amount, so you will see a little bit of a lag during the pairings. However, as the game gets started and proceed, that should be less of an issue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay, so where are we at? So still waiting.
We are still waiting to see who they are going to pair against the 2 Yunari lists.
I can see some angsty lads, which is fair enough. I mean, for a lot of these players, they've spent the last 3 to 6 months building, crafting lists, getting ready for today. Bit of pressure as well.
It is a bit of pressure, and I'm just let me just bring up some more things on the multiple screens that I've got set up here. All right.
Things
So
are getting moving, it looks like.
it's
Right
pretty
now,
exciting.
just to paint a picture for you, we have 16 guys just kind of standing around. It's a majestic sight. Very handsome, husky gentlemen, as far as the eye can see. Just some epitomes of the male form.
It's very exciting. It's very exciting to see.
Alright, I think we have some pairings.
Yeah, the pairings are still
Moving at pace.
the pairing process from a team environment. Basically, the way it works in the ATC, it follows a similar format to the ETC. I might come back to this format. So we have finally got the first 2 games paired. So basically, they put up Victoria's put up their Yunari list, piloted by Jeremy Martino, and that has been paired against the Astra Militarum of Team WA by Matt Aird. Matt Aird was the WA captain for quite a number of years during, I believe, 5th and 6th edition, and then left the scene to play other game systems for a while, and then has come back with a vengeance in 8th ed. Nice. So it'll be really good to see how that game goes.
All right, well, I'll run you through
the 1 second, and Tom White, his Yunari from Western Australia. He is playing against the Thousand Suns list. And we've seen our first player switch, which we did expect Team Vic to do a bit of.
Team Vic like to do that.
They do. So basically, the way the ATC team pairing process works is any player can play any of the 8 lists, but you do have to put a name on the list. So the Thousand Suns list had Hayden Mansky's name on it, because he had just played in a number of events with Thousand Suns.
Preferred Enemy, and he won it with Zinch Demons.
Yeah, so
it
looks like Team Vic have gone fairly strategic with the names they've put on their lists. So Matt Morrisoli, he was originally listed as playing the Adeptus. No, sorry, the. Who was he listed to play? He was playing the Sisters list. He was playing the Sisters list. So we already know
because he's been playing that Sisters.
He's been playing Sisters all year. So yes, so they've done their first switch. Matt Morrisoli will be piloting the Thousand Suns against Tom White Yunari, and I'm just going to answer a question.
And I'll tell you about some lists. So we have Matt Morrisoli's list. We have a Battalion of Thousand Suns. He has Iron Man on disc, Exalted Sorcerer on disc, 28 Zangors, 16 cultists. So right there you can tell he's going to have screens, he's going to have smites. Then he has 8,000 Sun Supreme Command. Triple Demon Prince with wings and extra talons. And one of these is Warlord and one of these has a relic of Helm of the Third Eye. So yeah, he's gonna have a shitload of smites, guys. And his last one is actually pretty interesting, and I think this is a bit of a meta play and a bit of a play to these missions. He's got a Spearhead of Death Guard, and he's got Fabius Bile and 3 Plague Burst Crawlers. So that's pretty interesting. So that's telling you he's invested in the bubble wrap and all the smites and pushing up the board and causing pressure, but he doesn't want to give full 1850 points to it. He's left something back instead of objectives and deplete stuff that's out of line of sight. Because we know there's a lot of line of sight blocking terrain in this environment, being able to snipe out key units on objectives is really powerful and important.
Yep. The other thing we have seen already is it looks like Team Vic have put up their Tau list, and we have seen another player swap. So Lee Abbey is piloting. Sorry, Lee Abbey was listed as piloting the Tau list. But Tim Rosenberg, the Hebrew Hammer himself, is playing Tau. It'll be interesting to see if the remaining rounds the Vic team keep the same players on the same list, or whether or not they continue to throw a little spanner in the works. Because a number of these players can play all these lists.
Well, there's quite a few, I'd say.
I mean, Matt Morrisoli, I mean, we've seen him. He's done very well with Thousand Suns, I think, in the last Preferred Enemy. Yep. Not Preferred Enemy, sorry. Eightfold Path, and obviously he's done well with Sisters all year. Mm-hmm. So I would not be surprised if I saw a later round Matt Morrisoli go back to his Sisters. And Mansky, as I said, has done very well with Thousand Suns so far. Whether or not we will see Mansky go back to a Thousand Suns list later on in the event, will be. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited. So, the other put-up from WA, the put-ups and pairings are actually starting to speed up. So, we've already said the Tau being piloted by Tim Rosenberg from Team Vic was put up, and from Team WA, Travis Kirk and his Chaos Demons were put up. And the Harlequins, piloted by Andrew Horton from WA, will be playing against Tim and his Tau. And the Adeptus Sororitas, who once again was listed as being played by Matt Morrisoli, we already knew Matt wasn't going to be playing it because he's playing Thousand Suns, and that's being piloted by Lee Abbey. So there's it's a bit of a clusterfuck. They're all over the and the only list so far that has the same name, same pilot as what was listed, is Unari with his Jeremy Martino.
Everyone knows Jeremy plays Unari. He's taken it. He won CanCon, which is the Australian Championships. That's our equivalent of the LVO with that list. So as soon as they submitted that list, everyone knew what he was going to take. So there's no point playing silly buggers there. Okay, are there any lists to look at, or we just want to keep this rolling? So let's keep this rolling for the moment, because we can come back to the list once the pairings have done. So we'll have a look at some of the chat questions. So Uni's saying our mics are picking each other up a little bit. Worse when Adam speaks. Diffie sounds fine. Thanks for that, Uni. We will see what we can do about that shortly. I'm just trying to think this one through. In all honesty, we're going to swap headsets because I feel as though the way the mic is angled. 1 second. Unsure if this will make a difference as yet. It may make it worse. Who knows? Well, if it does, yours should be echoing now, shouldn't it? Yours should be getting picked up. So if Uni, if you want to give us a shout out and let us know if you feel that's a little better. As also said, looking great. Sounds good still. Thanks for the feedback, Uni. So Uni is one of the tournament organisers for the CanCon event that we were just talking about for 2019. We've been having a lot of chats with him over the last little while, quite a while, talking about some massive prizes they're giving away. So if you haven't signed up to CanCon 2019, quick shout out to them. It is going to be the largest 40k event. Historically, they've been the largest 40k competitive tournament for quite some time. Art 40k, held in Melbourne around the same sort of time, has historically been the larger event. However,
it is heavily soft score focused. It's commonly referred to.
It's for fluff bunnies. They don't make any bones about it. That's what it is. That's what it's always been.
It's
That's what it
beers
always
and
will
pretzels, 40k.
Yeah.
People bring not as toned list. So yeah, it'll be. But it has been the largest event for quite some time. CanCon's been nipping its heels, but this coming year, it looks like it's going to be absolutely massive.
Eat 'em. They're talking about pushing 200 now, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, it'll easily hit 200.
I think that's amazing. So good.
The other thing they're doing is the winner of the Australian ITC Championships. So that is the player in Australia with the most ITC ranking points at the end of the ITC tournament calendar. Circuit. I think they call it Circuit.
Circuit, yeah.
Circuit.
Yeah, Circuit.
For 2018, will receive a... I don't know if it's all expenses paid, so don't quote me here, but it's ticket,
I think it's flights and
accommodation,
yeah.
and ticket to Las Vegas Open.
2020, I believe.
All right.
So the following year. Okay, so what we can tell you right now is that the game you guys are going to see on our beautiful, gorgeous setup is going to be Jeremy Martino versus Matt Eds. That is Unari and Craftworld Elder versus Astra Militarum.
Yep.
So what do we think about that matchup straight off the bat?
Well, it's going to be an interesting matchup for a number of reasons. For starters, the personalities. So Matt Ed has a very dry sense of humour. To put this into context, there's a team captains Facebook group where they talk about different rules disputes that might before they come up and so on. And one of the things that was brought up was a suggested ruling, which a few of the captains and players felt was a little bit absurd.
What was it?
So the question and how it was going to be played was suggested that if a unit or character is locked in combat, however it's a single layer of dudes blocking that model in, then what the suggestion was is you could have a transport nearby that, as long as they were within 3 inches, there is no rules as written. There is nothing to suggest that they couldn't embark that transport.
And
so
avoid
basically teleport over the models into the transport.
And avoid being wrapped, and then let you shoot at whatever's wrapping them.
Exactly. Now, a few of the players and captains felt that was a little on the nose, and one of the players thought it was funny, and a number of people agreed with this. Not everyone. That they would effectively, and let me finish this statement before you jump to any conclusions, would doctor a screenshot of an FAQ, so same font and format and so on, and it was basically it asked the question, similar to the rule I just said, if I've got a unit wrapped and I'm within 3 inches of a transport, can I teleport into the transport? And the alleged response from Games Workshop Rule Team was, "You're taking the piss, aren't you?" Or something. It was like it was so obvious. To that effect. It was so obviously a joke.
Taking the mickey.
Someone or some of the captains, I don't think saw the humour. And as I said, there's got to be a dry humour.
We can all take this a bit too seriously at times, especially like an event like this where people feel like they're the pride of their state and such is on the line, and you put so much effort into it. But I think we need to tell you about the matchup. So I've already told you about Jeremy Martino's list. He's got the double spears, he's got Yunari, he's got Craftworld, he's got Reapers, he's got Rangers and Psychic and everything. I'm going to tell you about Matt Ayres' list now. So he is Astra Militarum. First is a Katachan Battalion.
Hi, Emma.
We're going to be on multiple streams. Someone's just live streaming us onto Facebook, I think. So we've got a Katachan Battalion with a company commander, a Primaris Psyker, three units of infantry squads. One just bare bones, just with 9 guys and a sergeant. Next one has 7 regular dudes, a mortar and a sergeant, and the same again, mortar and a sergeant for the third one. Then he has 5 scions. That's it, just 5 scions. So I'm guessing he's just going to deep strike those onto an objective at some point, hopefully the opponent forgets about him. An Astropath, Ogren Bodyguard, which is, I'm guessing that's a play for the shield breaker missiles, so he can protect a couple of his units from Knights. And then he has Sergeant Harker as well, so he's going to give the reroll 1s bubble to all of them. Past that, he has a Catachan Super Heavy detachment. So he's got a Shadow Sword with only one, so no sponsons on the Shadow Sword, 0 sponsons. Then he has another Shadow Sword with 1 pair of sponsons. Yep, 1 pair of sponsons. And then he has a Macarius Vulcan, which is one of my babies. So anybody who knows me and see me play, I love that tank. I think it is the prettiest, sexiest looking tank they've ever done. It's got a big old Gatling cannon on pretty much a brick. What's not to love?
What's not to love? And just to clarify, sorry to interrupt you, Adam. So the team pairings for Vic versus WO have been completed. I've just shared a link to Down Under Pairings,
yes,
where you can click on that link and see who is playing who. And obviously there are no scores in as yet because the rounds have started, but you'll be able to have a look.
Absolutely. And so lastly, the last thing he has, past that Macarius, he has a auxiliary detachment. He's got Celestine with 2 Gemini, so she adds a lot to that list.
She
can jump around, she can do so much and add so many elements.
Also, the thing I find interesting about if we go back a few months now to the big FAQ, when they brought out the changes to the CP for detachments, it was very rare to see an auxiliary detachment.
Yes, it was.
Because the -1 CP was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
In this edition, in this current state of play, where CP is actually fairly easy to come by with battalions.
Well, as soon as they cranked the CP up for the battalion to 5, all of a sudden you didn't care.
Yeah,
you didn't care at all.
I think it's becoming a lot more common to see an auxiliary detachment of a single unit to provide some sort of utility. In some instances, that's simply a St. Celestine scenario. In others, it might just be that they just want some unit to fill a hole.
Yeah, well, a lot of armies have need an X factor, need something that'll go and do something that nothing else in their actual codex can do. Saint Celestine fits that role to a T. There are so many things that she can do that Guard can't do, and she adds so many extra elements to the list. Now, in this matchup, he might have been better off with that Alexis, because stopping Doom is going to be pivotal to him winning this game. Doom is the thing that wrecks Baneblades. As a guy who plays Baneblades, you put Doom on a Baneblade and shoot Reapers at it, it's wrecked, it's gone. It's not even there, it's just a mist. But look, I still think this is going to be a great game. Now, I'm going to wait for the players to get to the table, and then I'm going to tell them about the sideboard setup. So I'll go over that again, because we've got some more players who've joined us. So if you look to the left of your screen, where we've got a little table set up with a big dice and a little dice on it, the big dice is going to represent their victory points, and the little dice are going to represent their command points. Whenever they spend a command point, they take one out of the pool, they get it back, they return it to the pool. So we should always be able to see how many command points they got. They're in rows of 5, and they've got 23 or 24 each. When they get to the table, I'm going to go over there and instruct them how that's going to be used, and just so we don't have to interfere with their game in any way, but we can get transparency with what's going on and we can keep up. I'm also going to be asking them in what order they're rolling dice. Well, let's say they roll to hit, and then they want to re-roll one of those dice for a stratagem. Are they going to roll to try and get the stratagem back first, or are they going to roll second? Just so, we can keep track, and it's not really hard to find out what's going on. All right, so I'm going to run you through the matchups right now. So we've got Jeremy Martino versus Matt Aird. They're going to be on the stream. Next one down, we've got Matt Morrisoli, Thousand Suns, versus Thomas White, who's playing Yanari. That's going to be a really interesting matchup. Those are 2 top level players, and they're playing 2 really good lists. So I think Thomas White's Yanari list is a bit more defensive, and he needs to play a pretty canny game to avoid getting smited out by Matt, who's got what you would expect. He's got a horde backed by a lot of characters who can just smite every turn on a 5+ for being Thousand Suns. Next one down, we have Tim Rosenberg playing Tau. He's got quite a good Tau list. He's got a big brick of Fire Warriors backed up by 3 Riptides. He also has a Yavara with 27 shield drones. Now that's a really good aggressive element to have in a defensive list, where you can park that in front of your gun line and it becomes kind of like your impregnable fortress, where they can't assault it without getting flamed to death.
Yep.
And they can't interact with it without killing the drones. So it's kind of like a misnomer. You got to take care of both elements at the same time. He's playing against Harlequins though, and if there's one army that can get past drones and jump just straight into you, it's Harlequins. And so they can avoid a lot of his stuff and just jump through his lines, kill his characters out.
Do what they need to do.
And yeah, exactly. But he has to. I think the onus in that matchup is going to be on Andrew Horton to play that well. The Tau can literally just sit back knowing that the Harlequins have to come to them to stop them. Because if they even sit still turn 1, he can just auto lose that game. Just get shot off the board.
So did you want to have a chat with the players?
Yep, I'll go grab those 2 right now. I'll leave you with Diffie. We're up to game 4. Continue.
So game 4. So Lee Abbey is playing the Adeptus Sororitas list, which we were expecting Matt Morrisoli to be playing. So Matt Morrisoli has been winning the shit out of events. He's currently ranked number 1 in Australia on Down Under Pairings, and he's predominantly played effectively Sister Battle with Astra Militarum, Shadow Sword with some characters, and some Smash captains. But this time round, Lee Abbey is running that list. So it's a very strong list. We've seen it do well in team events so far, as well, predominantly in singles events, I should say. It'd be interesting to see how that goes in the team environment. Generally speaking, when a list dominates the singles, it usually does well in a team event, but not always, because what you find is there are some more obscure lists that come into play. From in the team environment, because obviously you've got multiple factions that need to be used or can only be used once. So Lee Abbey's playing that Sisters list, and he's playing Travis Kirk's Chaos Demons. Now Adam has the lists up and is currently having a chat with the players. So what I might just do is pause the list discussion and pairing discussion, and just give a bit of a shout out to Objective Secured. So Objective Secured are the guys running Southern Hemisphere Open, the ANZ Team Championship, and a number of events throughout the weekend. And we're super excited to be involved with the team for our first live stream. And yeah, just wanted to give them a bit of a shout out because a lot of love for those guys. They put in a great amount of effort for their events, and throughout the weekend we'll be doing some more both live streaming on this Twitch channel, but for some of the people on Facebook, we will be going off and doing some walkarounds during breaks. Whatever you'd like. Whatever you would like.
Whatever you guys like. We just put them there to give you the option.
Yeah, so it'll be... Yes, as I said, so it's great to see Objective Secured as a company and what they do for the community over here. And they've got, I think, 16 or 17 tournaments on at this weekend. It's definitely the largest event that I've been to in a long time, in Australia at least, convention-wise. CanCon probably comes close. I'm not sure. Actually, CanCon would
CanCon's huge.
CanCon's huge.
Yeah, it's massive now.
It also has... it has the CanCon 40k championships, so that's ITC championships these days. The name has changed a number of times over the years, so if I get the name wrong, it is CanCon.
It's the flagship event for the circuit now, and it should be. Uni, his team, those boys, they put so much effort into making that as big and as good as it can be, and they get absolute props for that. That's an amazing effort. Yeah,
super pumped for that event later on. Early next year.
Are we up to turn the res up at all?
The res up?
On the cam?
Not really.
Fair enough. Is what it is.
Yep.
Alright, so... Have you gone through all the matchups? Who's playing who?
No, I paused. Yes, so basically we did the one extra. So Dean Simbeck is playing Chaos Demons.
Yep.
So Dean Simbeck is the head of Blog for the Blood God.
Yep.
For those familiar, I think he's got over 8,000 followers on Facebook, so big shout out to Dean. So basically he's playing a number of Bloodletter bombs.
Yep. He's got 4, but I think he's only ever going to pay for 3 because that's literally all his command points to try and do it. But he's also got a horror bomb as well. He's got 30 horrors, I believe. We able to grab his list up on here?
Yes, we can.
And because I'm running out of battery on my laptop because I forgot my charger.
That's right.
We're going to have to double down on this screen. But just to give you guys a picture.
So Dean's list is Khorne Demons Battalion, Bloodmaster with Crimson Crown, Skull Taker, 20 Bloodletters, 20 Bloodletters, 20 Bloodletters, 20 Bloodletters.
That's a lot of Bloodletters.
He's then got a Nurgle Demons Battalion with double Poxbringer, 3 Innocent Nurglings, 30 Plague Bearers, and then he's got a Zench Demons Battalion, so that's a shitload of CP.
Shitload of
with,
CP.
Fluxmaster, Changemaster, 30 Pink Horrors, 11 brimstones, 11
Yeah.
brimstones,
Like
and
you-
randomly 16 reinforcement
Reinforcement
points.
points, and that just brings back some brimstones if they die quickly. So most people look at that list and just go, "It's just a bunch of stuff." But it's actually, for me, for my eyes, it's actually really well built. I think because it's got layers. So you got the bloodletter bombs, yeah, and you've got plague bearers, and you've got Zinch team. So he's only using troops choices. The dude's is either a criminal mastermind or he's just a crazy man.
Yep.
So
And that's
he's
being paired up against Jake O'Grady's Adeptus Mechanicus and Questor Imperialis.
Questor
Knights.
Imperialis.
Knights. So basically his list is Castellian, Crusader and Gallant. He's then got double tech priest, bunch of rangers and some dragoons. Now we're going to come back to the Dream Team competition shortly, but I'd just like to point out Jake O'Grady is the steal in the ANZ Team Championships Dream Team. He has
bargain.
not played a huge number of tournaments of this year, and so his ranking points are relatively low, but he is a champion player and definitely a steal in the Dream Teams. So yes, so it's basically it's blitter bombs, and then
well, it's got
what else?
it's got a bit of everything. So his backfield is going to be brimstones, probably sitting objectives, out line of sight if you can. Then he's going to have 3 units of Nurglings to go sit midfield objectives. He's going to have plague barriers to bubble and be just like annoying -2 to hit dudes, but they move faster than you think they would because they got the poxspringers. Then his forward elements, he's going to drop pink horrors, probably try and clean out Jake's screens, which is going to be 3 units of rangers, and then he's going to try and just bomb in bloodletters and just going to this into this night, this one into this night, this one into this night. Just turn to what this is going to hinge on a lot is how Jake uses the Gallant. The Gallant is the win or lose for Jake in this.
And the Rangers.
Yeah, well, he needs the Rangers to survive. If he can make the Rangers survive to turn 2, he probably wins the game.
Yeah, so if I was a bet, see, what I reckon is going to happen is turn 1, he's going to try and go as ballistic as he can. I'm sorry, who's playing? Dean. Dean's going to go as ballistic as he can with those horrors.
Yep.
Try and take as many of those rangers as he can. And on turn 2, if he has removed those screening units, he'll go letter bombs.
Yep.
If he hasn't removed the screening units, he'll drop 1 unit of letters.
1, yeah.
Take out those screening units, and on turn 3, he'll drop the rest.
Well, he has to, yeah. He has to drop them all on turn 3. So here's the thing, yeah. Like, so if he has any screen alive at the top of turn 3, like Dean just auto loses. He's probably going to have about 800, 900 points off the table, or more. And here's the other thing. Here's a little X factor that I just saw them. He's got 3 dragoons. He's got 3 dragoons, and they're stitchy, so we can infiltrate those. They are going to be very hard at -2 to hit. Very, very, very hard for the horrors to kill.
Yep.
Very hard, because they're going to be winning on 5s, maybe +1 with the Fluxmaster, and then he's going to be -1 to hit, so they're going to be hitting them on 5s. So they could be hitting on 5s, winning on 5s if he doesn't do it right. That could be a real spanner in the works for Dean.
Sure.
All right. So bringing us back to where are we at with our table? I think they're just placing objectives and marking out deployment zones. We're really lucky. We've got 2 pretty good-looking armies here. Luckily, Jeremy didn't bring his own army. He borrowed models from Dave Umana, who's a gorgeous, gorgeous painter and a lovely bloke.
Dave Umana has won countless painting awards, both from the traditional tick box kind of painting matrix.
Yep.
So he does really well with that because he has all the conversions, freehand,
waterfalls, all that waterfall shit,
water techniques, etc. And then you also then have. It is just a beautiful army.
Yeah.
At tournaments that would have a presentation score, which this one does not, he would also obviously bring his display board, which has this massive waterfall. It's amazing army.
It's perfection. It's so good looking.
Yeah, well, you know what? Throughout the weekend, I'll try and see if I can get some photos of it from a Facebook feed or something. But yeah, so the other thing that you won't be able to see just yet because the models aren't out, but Matt Ed has an amazing Imperial Guard or Astronautarum army, and it is a Star Wars themed list. So his Saint Celestine is a levitating Darth Vader.
Oh, sick!
Now he has brought, for those concerned, he still brought the actual Saint Celestine model. So if someone is concerned,
kicks up a fuss. Yeah.
He can go, all right, no, fine. All right, I did just bring it because I liked it.
Yep.
But being a team environment, other players in his team had a Saint Celestine model, so he's brought it along.
Yeah, so there's no reason not to.
Yep.
Like at that point, might as well hedge your bets.
Exactly.
And keep everyone happy and appeased.
Yep. Okay, so continuing on with the pairings. So we've got Hayden Mansky playing Knights. Excuse me. And he's playing against Hayden Mansky from Team Vic, I should say, clarify that. Because for those who do know Hayden Mansky, he has played now on
Defector. Is the Defector, Hayden Mansky.
He's played on Team Queensland twice. Captain at once. He played for third place.
He's right there, guys.
Right next to us. So big shout out to Mansky. And yeah, so captain it once for third place. He played it I think the following year, and then so he's moved back down to Victoria with his lovely family, and which has been good to have him back.
Absolutely.
So Mansky lived in Queensland, moved to Vic, moved to Queensland,
moved
back to
Vic.
So it's a bit of a yo-yo, but it's good to have him back.
All right, so we have...
He's playing, as I said, Mitch Byrne from
WA.
So Mitch, let's go into those two lists. So bring those up. And for those playing, watching at home, so I have put in the team chat a link to all the tournament lists on Down Under Pairings. So you can click on that link and have a look at what everyone's playing. So Hayden Mansky's list is Super Heavy Detachment. So he's got Warlord, Knight Crusader, Knight Gallant, Knight Warden. Then he's got a battalion with double Tech Priest and triple Qatari Vanguard.
Yep.
And then he's taken a Super Heavy Oggs Detachment with a Knight Gallant. So he's gone the 4 Knights and Qatari Vanguard.
Which I actually really like. So he's
they're also Sigils.
Yeah, yeah. So...
and let me just quickly go through Mitch's list. So Mitch's list is Drakari. He's got battalion Obsidian Rose, double Archon, bunch of Cabalites. Then he's got Spearhead of the Black Heart, Archon, triple Ravager, double Raider. And those are all with Dizzies. And then he's got a Prophet of Flesh Spearhead with Urian, 3 Talos, 2 Talos.
2 Talos. Or with Haywire Blasters.
Yep. And Macro Scalpel to take.
So that's actually going to be a really interesting matchup. So they've both got the absolute potential to 20 each other.
Yeah.
Absolute potential to 20 each other. The Talos is just... It's all going to hinge on the use of the Talos. They can get absolutely poleaxed by the 2 Gallants.
Yep.
But at the same time, if they get to gangbang one of them, they will demolish a Knight a turn pretty easily. And more than that, they can half kill one with the Haywire and then kill another one in combat. So if he's savvy with that, I've got a feeling Hayden's probably going to have the edge on experience, just from what I've heard about his opponent. But
no, Mitch is solid. Mitch is
solid by no doubt.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that is the thing. So it's pretty much, it's fair to assume that pretty much all the players this weekend are of a solid standard. And there are a number of players which have an X factor that can't be denied. Mansky's very cool under pressure.
He is.
And,
cool as a cucumber.
The one thing that Mitch might have in his favour this time round is he's not playing me. So
what are you saying? What are you saying about yourself?
So Mitch and I, the last time we played each other, which was when we were in New South Wales, playing for the ATC, I was playing for Vic, he was playing for WA still, and we had a game, and it was a green light for him. He should have won. And apparently he saw the stars. And
saw the stars.
Saw my pretty face.
Can we go back to the pairing screen?
Okay.
I just want to give a... So the next matchup we've got is Daniel Martin playing Astra Militarum, and he's versing from Team Vic, and he's playing Peter Platel, who's the captain of Team WA, who's playing Adeptus Astartes. Now that's a very interesting matchup as well. There's actually quite a few interesting matchups here, which we'll definitely keep you updated on if and when we can.
So Daniel Martin is basically playing Triple Shadow Sword.
Yeah.
And then some company commanders with just dudes.
Some conscripts, some bubble wrap.
Yeah. So basically, he's just going to be bubble wrapping the Triple Shadow Swords, and they're the loadout you'd expect. So they've got the
Well, they're max loadout. So each one has 4 las cannons and 5 twin heavy bolters on all of them.
Yep.
So that's a hell of a lot of DACA.
yeah. And if we go to Pete's list, so Pete is playing Ultramarines Blood Angels.
It's quite a weird army here, but I think it works for him. And this is what you know he's good at as well.
So I've been talking to Pete for a little bit about this list, both in a more of a singles environment as well as a team environment. So he took a similar list but without the Blood Angels to the ETC.
Oh, not really. He took this is a far more polarized list than what he took to ETC, and there's probably the natural progression of what he took then. Then he had 2 repulsives, DACA bricks, whatever the repulsors. Here he's got a much stronger fire base with Hellblasters, 2 units of devs, with cherubs, and then a bunch of scouts and a couple of smash captains. So that's actually not bad against the super heavies. If he goes first, he can quite easily kill one, and then when the next because all his stuff is going to die, all those devs they're not going to last. They're all going to die pretty much the first time the super heavies own up.
Yep.
Then they kill another one back when they die because he's got their Banner of the Emperor Ascendant. So if he gets to trade all his fire base for 2 super heavies, he's got a good chance of winning that game.
For sure. So Pete's list is Gilliman. Then he's got Battalion of Blood Angels with 2 Smash Captains and Mephiston. Then 3 units of Scouts. And then he has a Spearhead of Ultramarines with Tech Marine for the obligatory HQ.
It's the cheapest HQ.
Yeah. Is it cheaper than a Lieutenant?
It is. Lieutenant comes in at 62, 60 or 62. Yeah.
It's close. So then he's got a Primaris Angel with the banner. Double Devastator squads with las cannon, 2 missiles, and a heavy bolter each. So that's your optimal loadout, I think, for
now that we know how the cherub works and you can double tap those, I think that's a perfect loadout. You're either taking bare bones, in my opinion, either taking bare bones with just a heavy bolter and a missile launcher, or you go 1 las cannon, 2 missiles, and a HP. Yep. I think that's the best way to go. Because the missile launchers give you leverage against the hordes as well.
For sure. Then he's got the 7 Hellblasters with plasma incinerators and 2 Razorbacks.
Did you point out
assault cannons?
Rowboat's girly man?
I did point out, yeah.
Rowboat. Yeah, he's got Rowboat in there. Which is why he didn't need that other lieutenant. He doesn't need a lieutenant. He's got better in every way.
The only reason I was thinking the lieutenant was purely for points. You often see a lieutenant as a HQ choice, as the mandatory HQ choice.
Yeah.
Because they are cheap.
Yeah, because when you toss it up against the techie or the lieutenant, the techie doesn't add anything if you don't have vehicles, and if you're playing a infantry fire base, which is what he's got here, the techie does sweet F all. Yeah. So
100%.
Yeah. Have we got any questions in the chat? What are we up to?
So far, I think there's still a little bit of an echo coming through one of the mics. I've played around with the sound a little bit. I think it could be just how close we are to each other. So I might just shuffle a little bit and see if that ends up making a difference.
I might switch this to my other ear, or do you want to do it this way?
I think it can only go the one way, that headset.
Fair enough.
So if you are watching, if you could let us know in the chat how we're going audio-wise. So someone has just said your mic. So when you say your, are you referring to myself, Josh, or
There's
my lovely
two yours
compatriot, Adam? We'll work out which of the...
It's either the handsome one...
The gentleman in the black is clean. Ooh, very clean.
I did shave before I came, so
which means I'm dirty, is what I get from that. So that would suggest, if I've got an echo, that I'm coming through both headsets. So I will...
Well, that was the same thing as before, wasn't it? And we switched.
It was the same. We switched. I was hoping that we forgot them slightly further away.
Yeah.
Bear with us. We will see how we can go with the sound as we progress through today.
Well, if you want to have a tweak, I can run through the last game. Up to you.
Yeah. So all right. That sounds like a good idea. So coming to this.
Last game we have is Dave Umana from Victoria playing Drukhari, and he has what I think is the most complete, well-rounded list in the event, and against what's the other guy's name? It's Timothy Melrose, who's playing Deathwatch
as primary faction.
So the Drukhari detachment, he's got Cabal of the Black Heart, HQ, two Archons, pretty obligatory. Labyrinthine Cunning, of course. 3 units of Cabalites, bare bones, just paying the taxes. Then he's got the 3 Dizzy Ravagers, so that's Ravagers with the 3 Disintegrator Cannons. Then next up he has an Air Wing. He's got 3 Razor Wing Jet Fighters. So that's doubling down on a Disintegrator profile. So they've got 2 each.
And they're also Cabal of the Black Heart.
They're also other Cabal. So that's just to give them a 6 loss feel no pain, because why the crap not?
Why not?
And they get to move everywhere, so they don't need extra range or anything else. That's the best choice. And then we go down again. He's got an Outrider from Harlequins. He's got a Shadow Seer, and then he's got 6 Skyweavers with Haywire, 6 Skyweavers with Haywire, 3 Skyweavers with Haywire. So he's got a lot. He can take on anything with that army. Knights, he's got covered. If you've got Horde, he's got covered. Like, he's really, really good, really good. And over to Deathwatch, so Timothy Melrose.
So it is Dark Angels, Deathwatch, and Custodes.
Custodes. So, but he spent the most points on Deathwatch. So
that's how he got primary faction.
And that is a Spearhead.
Yeah, Spearhead Deathwatch with Watch Captain as his Warlord and 3 units of 6 aggressors.
Shouldn't that be a Vanguard or aggressors? Heavy support slots in, because they're elites. They're elites in Marines and regular Marines.
I would need to confirm, regardless of whether it should be a Spearhead
it's just
or
a wording
Vanguard.
thing. Just a wording thing. So he has a Watch Captain with a Storm Bolter and a Power Axe and a Jump Pack. So it's a baby smash captain. He can do alright. He can do some damage. You give him the +1 to wound and things like that. Then he has 3 units of 6 aggressors. So doing the math on how many shots they get, it's a lot, guys.
Doing the math, a lot.
More than you need, pretty much.
And as far as the Supreme Command of Adeptus Custodes, I mean, you weren't expecting too much different of this, but basically Shield Captain on Jet Bike with Hurricane Bolters. And then finally, it's the... they've just said the audio's not that bad.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And finally, it's the Air Wing of Dark Angels with Triple Dark Talent with the Hurricanes.
So this is...
Dakar.
I think, this is Dakar, but I think this is not a great matchup for the aggressors. Not a great matchup.
I'd agree with that.
The Skyweavers do a number on them. They wrap them. The first turn they come down, they need to do their damage, and then they get wrapped and demolished by Skyweavers. And they've only got 2 wounds each, guys, at toughness 5. Those Disintegrators, strength 5, neg 3, 2 damage each. So they just rip through them. They make them a non-issue. They deep strike down. They shoot a shitload of shots. Not their optimum payload because they've got to stand still to shoot twice.
Yep.
But they come down, put pain on something. They will have decent odds to kill a Ravager when they come down, but he's got 2 more, plus he's got the Flyers. So
one of the things I've gone and done, if you bear with me 1 second, keep having a chat. I'm just going to bring something up shortly.
So looking at that matchup, I think the Deathwatch they might have copped it a bit under the bus. So I think it's still got some legs because the Shield Captains and the Flyers actually aren't horrific in this matchup. The problem is all the good things in Dave's list are good against the good things in his. So the Skyweavers can charge literally everything there. The Flyers, he doesn't care about the Flyers. They can charge him because they all got fly. The Ravagers are very good against them as well, and his Flyers are very good against them as well. So I'd have to be going with Umana to get a good win there if I was a betting man. But who knows, guys? I mean, if Tim goes first, he can do a lot of damage. Especially, lots of shenanigans he can pull. Deathwatch got a lot of tricks. He might not have he doesn't have a huge amount of CP to bank into that. He only has the Vanguard or Spearhead, whatever it is, a Supreme Command and a Flyer Wing. So he hasn't got a huge bank.
Yeah, I'd be concerned
CP.
about that CP or lack thereof.
What's the term? Blowing your load? He's probably going to come down, blow his load, and he's either going to win or then he's lost. It's
that's a fairly accurate statement pretty much any of the time, isn't it?
After you blow your load, you've either won or lost. Yeah. Pretty much.
Alright, so if I go with, who did the Chaos Demon player? He's playing...
which on Vic?
That's right, I'm getting there. So, and finally...
So just keeping you up to date, guys, we've got some deployment happening. Right now, Jeremy's just placed down his Shining Spears right in the back corner out of line of sight. And we also have some infantry who are stormtroopers that have just been placed down. It's probably just going to be... I think the weight of drops will be on Matt Ed's side, be on the Astro Militarum side. I think he's got enough drops that he can just kind of chuck stuff down until he gets a good sense of what Jeremy's doing. But Jeremy's got such movement shenanigans. He pretty much his movement's just going to be mapped out pretty much in his head, and that's the kind of player Jeremy is. He's very cerebral. He will have had this mapped out in advance, probably months ago, of how he's going to deploy and do these things. For those of you who don't know, Jeremy, when I said he'd won the ITC Championship event last year, he also won the year before that. He's gone back to back at the kind of like the flagship event in Australia twice, and that's never been done before. So to say he's a good player is probably an understatement.
Yeah, big shout out to Jeremy. I think
absolutely.
Yep.
And just because of that, I think I'd be tipping him. And To be honest, if I went through all these pairings, I'd say Vic has more advantageous their way
100%.
than WA does.
Yep.
I think most things are leaning Vic's side at this point. And look, it's a dice game. Anything can happen. We know this is a swingy, crazy, nutty game. The only one where I see a really positive matchup is Jake O'Grady versus Dean Simbeck. So that's Horde Demons versus Knights.
I don't know. I just
If I was tipping, I would tip towards Dean's way.
Well, currently,
towards Jake's way.
Towards Jake's way. Look, I only time will tell. But so basically, before the event, we knew that Vic and WA would be a good round to be live streaming because obviously we're Vic lads. WA is the home state. We got so we thought we'd get involved with that.
Yeah.
So what I went and did was, it was a bit time consuming. I haven't done it for every single round like I wanted to, but I've gone through the Vic and WA lists, and I did my own pairing calculations.
Yes.
So what I was just doing was plugging in those pairings into my little spreadsheet. So you heard it here first. So I've got it here. I reckon Jeremy Martino with his Yunari, which is the table we're currently watching, I believe is going to get a 12-point win.
12-point win?
It's going to be a close game. It's going to be slightly in Jeremy's favour. Then at the moment, I see Vic Green, just Vic Green.
Yeah,
I've got us winning with Tau against the Harlequins, probably around a 14-ish. Our Chaos Demons versus the Knights. I reckon. Look, it's going to come down to a couple of those screen units, but I reckon it's in favour of our Chaos Demons. But that being said, you've got a different opinion, so it'd be good to see. I reckon it's a slight swing in
Dean's favour.
In Dean's favour, you think it's a swing in Jake's favour.
The other way.
We'll wait and see.
Only because of the Dragoons. I think the Dragoons will seriously put a wrench in Dean's plans.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I think he'll actually end up having to use a Bloodletter Bomb to kill him, which is a huge. As soon as he has to use one of those to kill that means
he's lost a number of them.
The Knights, the Knights get kind of a free reign.
I reckon the Dark Elder list versus Deathwatch. I've got that down as a fairly strong win to Drakari. I've then got Astra Militarum versus Adeptus Astartes. I've got Pete down as a round. I reckon he's going to win that one.
Yeah, I think that's probably, like you said, I think it was a 12-8 or an 11-9. I think that could go either way. I think that's a big hinges on first turn game.
Yeah, agreed. I think, look, and Pete's a very experienced player.
Hugely experienced.
And Daniel Martin also has a lot of experience, but I just think Pete's gonna get it over the line.
Yep.
The Thousand Suns list, piloted by Matt Morrisoli. Before I knew Matt was playing it against the Yunari of Tom White, I had that down as a green for the Thousand Suns.
Yep.
I'm still strong on that, although Tom White is a wild card because he is a bulldog on the table in a good way. He gets results. Then finally, last two, the Sisters versus Demons. I had that pretty much as a 10-all draw. I could not pick that one. And then finally Knights versus Drakari. So Vic Knights versus the WA Drakari. I had that as I originally had that as an 8-point loss to Vic. So tight game. I think the Talos is just going to get there.
Yeah. So we can give you an update on that game. That game has already started.
Yep.
These guys we're watching, slackers, they've not even finished deployment yet.
So you've heard it here first. Team Vic is going to win the round.
Yes.
And they're going to win it with 98 battle points.
No, so what that'd be?
So it's just over it. So you need. Let me just
10 points for a win.
So to win the round, you need 86 out of 160 points.
Yep.
And I think Vic is going to get 98. So what that means
70, so that'd be on 62 or 64 for WA.
That will put them on... Oh, geez, we should be better at maths here.
We should surely be better at maths here.
Jeez, this is embarrassing. Embarrassing.
We never said that. Never happened.
Yeah, we'll edit that out. It's a live stream.
The stream didn't happen. We never rocked up. We already cocked this up. We're going to go home. It's ruined.
So it should be... what's the score out of? It's out of 160. So it should be... it should be 62.
62. Yeah.
I don't know why it was that hard.
We were up at 5:30 this morning. Went to bed at 1.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But hey... which for us was 3 a.m.
Yes, because 2-hour time difference.
Yes. So we'll.
But back to what I was saying. We already have an update on the Knights versus Drakari game, and in that game, the Knights went first, and they've already made it to mid-board. So we should tell them about the mission.
We should tell them about the mission.
We've got to tell you about the mission, guys.
The other thing, I've just had a question, or a couple of questions come through the chat. So the question was, are you guys running chess clocks there today? So in the player pack for the ATC, there is an option to use what we refer to as a death clock. Basically a player has to request it. The general gist is you have a chess clock scenario, you share the time. When you run out of your part of the time, you don't get to do any voluntary actions, you just get to roll saves. I haven't seen any of the Vic team or WA team request it. However, it is definitely on the cards. I've heard a few people that suggested that they might on certain rounds, but we'll wait and see if that actually comes into play. We will not be chess clocking our rounds that we watch. We've already got a ton of things to cover. It's just one more that we've decided to avoid.
It's first time, guys. We've taken it easy. Just get good chats and good banter down pat. So we just have had first turn rolled for on our stream table, and I think Jeremy's going first. I think Jeremy's taking first turn.
So what's the mission? So it's a spearhead assault deployment type, which you should be able to relatively see.
Short edge arrowhead.
Yes, yeah. So think hammer and anvil, but with a bit of an arrow in it.
With a nipple.
With a nipple.
With a little nipple.
Little tweet.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the deployment. So ATC does a triple mission format, similar to the European Team Championships, ETC. Basically, there is one Eternal War mission, and in this one it is Frontline Warfare. And then there is the Maelstrom of War at the same time, being contact lost. So what happens is, you put down 6 objectives in every one of the rounds. In this round, the objectives numbered 1 to 4 count towards just the Frontline War. So at the end of the game,
just the Eternal
objectives
War.
5 and 6 don't count for Eternal War points, but they do count for obviously Maelstrom throughout the event. The third mission component, or objective component, is kill points. And then we have the standard First Blood, Slay the Ward, Linebreaker. So that is the mission for this round.
And so, just for those who've joined late, if you look to the side table we've got, just the kind of the black table towards the left of the screen, those 2 big dice, they're going to be tracking the victory points. And I've told the players to put their combined kill points and Maelstrom points on those dice. They're D20s. Hopefully you guys can see them, just so you guys can keep track of what's going on.
Even if you can't, you'll also notice in the bottom right-hand corner, as the game progresses, we will also
put updated there
to update those numbers. But there will be times throughout the day where, hey, it's a long day, we may need to take a quick toilet break or go to the bar when the bar opens, or just do a walk around for whatever reason. Well, what we will be doing in those scenarios, we will leave the game going. We will have we'll be back shortly up in the top right-hand corner. And in those scenarios, we're still trying to work out whether or not we'll have music playing or dead silence. I don't like the idea of dead silence, but we'll see what we can do.
Maybe we'll take song requests. Anybody got a song request?
Yeah, I do have Spotify. So, hey, in that chat, if there is a song or songs you would like us to play in situations where we have dead air, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. So just letting you guys know, you've got 11 people watching today. So thank you all 11 of you for joining us for our first stream. That's amazing. That's like 10 more than we thought. I thought it was just going to be my mum. If I had a girlfriend, I would have made her do it too. But
yeah, look, I'm imagining that. Look, it's a very long day. We'll have people come and go. Be interested to see what our peak stream numbers would be.
So we got up to 16 before. I've been keeping an eye on it. But
geez, people have left.
People have left, but it's okay. They'll be back. Share it with your mates, guys. Tell them to get on, chat with us, get some banter going. If there's anything you guys want to know about the game, please let us know. Also, I'll go to let you guys know, the sets of dice, the red dice... Sorry. The sets of dice underneath the big dice are command points. So every time they use a command point, they'll be taking it out of that pool and adding them in. So that's transparency for you guys, so you can see what's going on too.
As I said, we will be attempting to have that displayed for you in that bottom right-hand panel. But as I said, there will be times where we may be talking. We may even we might even bring up a list or just to discuss something else.
Yeah.
And yeah. So while
update on the game.
yeah, let's have an update on the game. So it looks like has the game actually started? Honestly, like has the game started or have we?
No, the game started.
Okay, so it started, but he's just used the command strat to redeploy.
Phantasm or what it is, where he redeploys D3 units. So that's a standard Jeremy play. He'll deploy defensively, wait until he sees what his opponent does, and then redeploy aggressively if he thinks he can get away with it. Especially if he's going first, which I think he's done. So we've got that Wave Serpent in the middle of the board. That's got your Rain in it. That's got his Dark Reapers in it.
That's brutal. That is brutal.
He's going to pump that out, and that Shadow Sword, the one with the sponsons, that's probably going to go.
Was your Rain in it? Oh yeah, it was your Rain. Yeah, I'm just seeing the other units he's moving. So he had those jet bikes. That he has previously deployed Shining Spears, previously deployed quite defensively, and they're now in a position where he can move them up. Because they were deployed, he should still be able to quicken them.
Yes.
Quicken? Yeah, that's the strat.
Quicken or Soul Burst, either way. He can
Soul
move them
Burst,
3
quicken.
times.
Jeez,
I'm going to put a little prediction out here and say this game is going to be over in 2 to 3 turns, unfortunately.
Yep.
Because Jeremy's going first. And he's just decided to pull a huge play.
Yep.
So those Shining Spears are going to move 44 to 66 inches this turn.
Yep.
And they will go and they will Melter and then charge. If he gets Doom off on one of those tanks, they can kill them just with shooting.
Yep.
And then not need to charge them.
So the way I'm looking at it here, he has Matt with the Astra Militarum list, who is on the screen. He is on the right-hand side, which is a little odd for us because he's on the left-hand side for us here. But obviously we've got something around the wrong way with the camera, but that's okay. It doesn't make a difference to you guys. It's just it is for us. It looks like he hasn't really bubble wrapped those tanks at all.
No, he has not.
Do you think that's because Jeremy did potentially? Because what would have happened? Jeremy would have deployed. We should have been watching the deployment a little bit more carefully. We're obviously talking about all the lists.
I was watching.
Jeremy would have deployed fairly defensively, and potentially Matt's looked at it and go, well, I don't need a bubble wrap here. And as it turns out, he does need a bubble wrap.
It does indeed. That redeploy catches a lot of people off guard.
Yep.
A lot of people seem to think it's only Harlequins that have got it, but yeah, Craftworld have got it as well. And it's so pivotal.
How many do you reckon, how many tanks do you reckon you can take out in the first turn?
I'm going to go for 2.
You reckon both Shadow Swords?
I reckon both Shadow Swords will drop this turn.
Yep.
If Jeremy is a bit more canny, he won't go for the Shadow Sword without any sponsons. He'll go for the Macarius instead.
Yeah, so
because the Macarius is an amazing tool for killing Shining Spears.
Yep.
Macarius just takes them right off. Whereas most likely the Shadow Sword just kills a Wave Serpent. It kills 2 or 3 Shining Spears.
Yep.
Whereas the Macarius will kill the whole squad.
Yeah. So the interesting thing we're seeing here with this list, the Astra Militarum list by Matt Aird. So there was the way the ATC works. You submit your lists as a team. There's a bit of a review process where captains can say, hey, you haven't put this. You haven't marked your Warlord, or hey, what upgrades does this have, or a bit of a review process to make sure that lists are all legal and all that jazz. Now, the Matt's list actually got a few questions raised quite early. Actually, they're all the same question really, but just by multiple people.
Yep.
Which was he's got a Shadow Sword with, I believe, sponsons with no las cannons. But just heavy bolters. I can't remember I'll have to double check the list. Bear with me 1 second.
Yes, he does. I noted it did say that. I just thought it was a modelling thing.
No. So if I just go back to that game, there is a reason behind it, and it is legal, which caught me a little bit off guard.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, let me just read
I've played guard for the last X amount of years. And I didn't know this.
So Shadow Sword has a volcano, has the twin heavy bolter as standard. Then he has 2 twin heavy bolter sponsons. 4 twin heavy bolter sponsons with no las cannons. Okay, so the Forge World FAQ. So Forge World brought out a Shadow Sword a while ago.
Yep.
At some stage,
And on those sponsons, they didn't have las cannons; they just had heavy bolters.
Wow.
So
Okay.
there is an FAQ that basically says to be able to use that model, you can use the Shadow Sword data sheet from the Astra Militarum book, and you just can do it without las cannons.
Wow, really?
So,
There you
as I
go.
said, caught a few people off guard. So it still has a bit of that DACA.
Yeah.
Well,
it has a lot of DACA.
and saved a few points.
Fair enough. And we got a volcano cannon. Why do you need las cannons?
Look, shoot a different target. But yes, I do hear your point.
So he's just letting you guys know something interesting that's happened here. So he's pushed up his Wave Serpent. He hasn't deployed the Dark Reapers out of it. He hasn't deployed the Dark Reapers.
Hasn't he?
No, he hasn't. He's just deployed Uvrain to probably get the Soul Burst off.
Yep.
And I'm thinking he's playing a bit more conservative than I thought he was going to.
Yep.
I'm not sure if he thinks he needs, unless the Reapers are in reserve, guys, which I'm not sure. I know he's got Shining Spears. Actually, I'm going to bet they're in reserve. So if you look at his command point pool, he's only got 6 left.
Yep.
I'm going to guess that's 2 units in reserve, one of those being the Reapers, one of those being the Shining Spears.
Yep.
He'll have his Beeltan Shining Spears in reserve, who can come down and only have a 7-inch charge, and he'll have his Reapers in reserve. He'll deep strike those down behind it, and then fire and fade them into the Wave Serpent.
Yep.
So yeah,
No, that makes sense.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. All right.
We'll see if I'm right. See if my cuisine reigns supreme.
So he's just
And
moved
he's
the
just moved his
Shining Spears, as we expected.
And they'll probably double move.
Yeah. So he'll... Yep. So it is... Look, the...
We've got a question. Missed anything important? So just bring you up, just bring you up to speed on the game. So Jeremy, the Yanari player, deployed really defensively, and the guard player kind of left himself exposed. He didn't use his bubble wrap to screen his tanks, and then Jeremy got the role. He won the role to go first. He played the stratagem to redeploy, and he redeployed all his important units aggressively, and now he's just about to deal a really decisive blow. So just bringing you up to speed. He's just moved his Shining Spears. So they start, just so everyone knows, to see the top left corner of the map, of the screen, that's where they started. They are now past the center point of the map.
Yep.
That's what? That's 40, no, that's 36 inches,
Yep.
and they're past the center point. They've probably moved close to 40 inches already.
Yep.
And just from playing a stratagem to redeploy them, and now just their regular movement. So that unit, there's nothing it can't do.
Yeah, it's really
it's just
fast.
terrifying what it can do.
So we had our first Twitch video, which wasn't a live stream. We would have done a live stream. However, we had a special guest on, being Nick Nanavati from Knights of the Game Table, come on our very first, very first stream, or very first Twitch feed video. I got to get my lingo down with Twitch. But basically, we had him on, and there was a time zone difference. So we pre-recorded it, we then released it. But and so if you go to our channel, which you're already on at a later stage, you can rewatch that video. We went through a number of things on that chat. And one of the things we talked about was the various lists. Is he bringing them down now?
There's the Reapers dropping down behind. He's not going to bother firing and fading him. He's not going to bother. He's just dropping him down. Because he has to deep strike in his deployment zone.
Because he wants to shoot them first turn.
Yep. So he's just deep strike them next to Uvrain. So they're going to probably double shoot.
Yep. So one of the things... so basically in that review we did with Nick Nanavati, what we saw was, what we went through was all the different lists that were using the same factions that he used when he played for Team USA at the ETC, and we ranked them effectively in order of how we felt they would be in a team environment and so on, or just how strong the lists were. Jeremy's list, Nick said, was the strongest out of the bunch.
Yeah.
It wasn't. There was a few things that he would have done differently, as he said, which he believed.
Most notably, he plays Swooping Hawks.
To a point, I think he did say he potentially drop those ones in a lower points value.
Yeah.
But what
true,
he said, he wouldn't have gone with 3 into Rangers.
Yeah.
He would have put a unit of Dire Avengers there.
So one thing to know, everybody, this year and historically, the ATC has been 1850. They did not make the jump to 2,000 points.
Well, actually, last year when 8th edition dropped, it went to 2,000 points.
Okay.
The issue was we found that too many of the games weren't completing on time.
Mm-hmm.
So as a committee or a captain's group, we decided to drop those points down to 1850.
So we've just seen some shooting take place, and that Shadow Sword with all the sponsors just started taking some damage.
Yep. So Shining Spears now getting activated.
Either that or it's a marker for a psychic power.
Oh, is he doing Psychic Powers?
He is. Yes, he's just casting some psychic powers. I'm guessing that will signify either Jinx or Doom on the Shadow Sword.
Yep.
Either one of those is horrific for him. So Jinx takes away, so will mean he'll get a 6-up save instead of 5-up save against the Dark Reapers.
Yep.
Which is significant. Or Doom, the rerolls to wound, means that those spears will just absolutely bite it in half in combat or shooting. Just the shurikens can take off like 10 wounds off it. It's crazy.
So in the chat we've got Totally Not Panics, which I'm trying to work out who the...
who it could be.
I know he's from Vic, because I've seen the username show up on Down Under Pairings before.
Is this Mr. Hamilton?
It is, because yes,
Michael Hamilton.
Hamilton took
Knights
and Magnus last year. Yeah,
cheesy bastard.
Jeez.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us, dude.
Yeah.
We're up to 16 people watching. Spread it around, spread the word. Quality content.
Even if we do say it ourselves.
Handsome, yes. Well, me.
Beards.
Beards, that's true. Yeah. So, yeah, look, this is going to be a bit of a savage game, guys. Only because Jeremy went first.
Yep.
And I think there was a bit of a faux pas by the guard player not bubble wrapping and not taking up available space in front of his tanks. So what have we got here?
He's
He's did it. I told you, if he knew what he was doing, he'd go kill that Macarius, because that Macarius will wreck Shining Spears.
Yep. Does he have enough? So a little hard to see from here, because obviously there's that piece of terrain currently in front of it. Of just how much space is there, how many jet bikes he'll actually be able to get into base.
Well, if he rolls high enough, he'll be able to jump all the way over it and get in behind.
Yeah, good point. Well, it does depend on the how much of a gap has been left on that side.
Yeah.
To know whether or not he has to jump the whole lot over, or whether or not it's just some.
So I'll tell you right now. There's one guardsman. See right there below the Macarius, right next to it.
Yep.
If he charges the guardsman, he'll get a lot more in. But he'll have to sacrifice one dude attacking the guardsman also. Actually, anyway, we won't even need to. But that'll give him somewhere to jump. He can jump to that guardsman. It'll only be about a 5-inch charge, and those front 4 dudes can jump over to that side of that side of him.
I think you will want to. So I know the Shadow Swords can both shoot. So just for those following the chat, Hamilton just did a little bit of a. Gave me a little bit of love.
A little bit of a shiv in the ribs.
So we played each other at Ozmasters 2016 for... Was it Ozmasters 2016? It was, wasn't it?
That's what he said, yeah.
Which round was that, Hamilton? Was that the last round? Well, we'll see if he has a better memory than I do.
Yeah.
But I had done quite a convincing number of wins along my path to get to the top tables. Yeah, it was the final. Final table. And we got there, and I just rolled like a dog. You can ask him, but also, basically in a nutshell, was it his Wraith Lord? He had a Wraith Lord in his list. Just went ballistic. His Wraith Knight stomped out everything. Just stomped out everything. It was a lot of 6s were rolled that game on his end. But that being said, hey, it's a dice-based game. Top players need to build in redundancy and make sure they avoid those situations where avoid. Well, I know it sounds odd, but trying to take some of the dice out of the equation.
Exactly. Mitigate the variance.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to give you guys a quick update on the Knights versus Drukhari game we're currently watching.
Which is on our left. You can't see that on the screen. We don't have a... Yep.
But, if we can cover 2 games for you, we might as well. And it looks like it is Drukhari turn 1, and they have pushed up their Talos, and looks like they're trying to get a charge on what I believe is a Gallant.
Yeah, Knights have already pushed... Knights looks like they had first turn and pushed up. I'm not sure if that was the best move.
Well, I actually think I've got a funny feeling that he's playing the Knights that can heroically intervene. So he's got a sneaky gotcha move for him if he tries to charge all in on that night. He'll charge the first one in and the second one in, and then he'll get intervened on maybe.
Okay.
So because that's how he's got him. If you guys can't see, but that's how he's got him positioned.
Yep.
So that could. Well, I'll let you know if that happens because that's a big play. And that's pretty cool. Back to our game. So we've got fire and fading on the Dark Reapers. Looks like the Dark Reapers have shot. I can't tell what they have damaged though, because we don't see any extra dice on that Shadow Sword.
So I'm looking at the CP remaining, and it looks like Jeremy. Let me just go into his.
The guard has 13 remaining, and Jamie's got 5.
Jeremy's got 5. So let's update that.
And Jamie's Reapers have just fire and faded behind line of sight blocking terrain.
Ouch. And you said guard has still got 13.
Guard's got 13 left.
All right.
Got some expressive frustrations at the fire and fade mechanic. That he will not get. He is disappointed he will not get to interact with those Reapers.
Yeah.
He didn't swear though. It's good on him. So we do have a dice on the back of that Shadow Sword. I will just quickly ask how many wounds it has remaining.
Just go have a look.
I will.
All right. So the benefits of being relatively close to each other. Yeah, benefits of being relatively close to the table. We can just have a peek every now and then. 14 taken. Okay, so yeah, that looks like that Shadow Sword just took 14 wounds. So that was pretty brutal from the Dark Reapers. And let's see where we're up to right now. One of the things we were really hoping to have for the stream was have audio on the table. However, due to it being at a convention, we were really struggling with having audio at a reasonable level without having too much background noise and so on. In future streams, we're hoping to have potentially things like lapel mics or something of that ilk. However, for our very first event, we have left it. So looks like that Shadow Sword. Oh, something's happening. Looks like the other Shadow Sword's taking some damage now. Just see if I can keep track of that one. Oh no, he was. It looked like he was trying to put a dice on the Shadow Sword, but apparently, I just got the audio from that. What was happening was in the Shadow Sword on the lowest point for you guys. Basically, that top comes off, and within there, he often keeps things like his D20s and such, just to make sure he can keep track of where those wound counters might be. So he has taken some wounds now on the Macarius in the top right. So we've had a question from Epi Cheese saying, how do you fire and fade after deep striking? Question, because you can't move after reserves. That's a very good question. Just 1 second. I'm just also getting a glance from Mike from Objective Secure. Be right back. 1 second.
Why would you do such a thing?
Because I love you. So I'm going to be back in 1 second. I'm going to chat with Mike.
So we're just taking a quick 2 or 3 minute break there each. So I'm just going to get in the hot seat, lock right in on this face. Where are we at? So, like I said, the Reapers have fire and faded, and 14 wounds have been taken on that Shadow Sword. So no matter what happens, that Shadow Sword's hitting on 5s now. He can be a bit canny in his turn and pay a CP to auto-repair it for D3 wounds, and if he gets 2 wounds back, it'll start hitting on 4s again, which is literally what I'll do if that's still alive, because He's got so much DACA wrapped up in that Shadow Sword. That Shadow Sword's got full heavy bolter sponson, so it's got 5 twin heavy bolters. So what's that? 30? Yeah, 30 strength 5 shots, which he'll need. He'll absolutely need to use all of them. The Volcano Cannons don't have a huge amount of targets in this game. Just the one Wave Serpent, and any Volcano Cannon will down that Wave Serpent pretty much first go. But that's going to be -1 to hit, and then I guarantee either Jeremy has Vectored Engined it for -2, or he's going to play Lightning Reflexes, and he's going to be hitting on 6s, which is why it's really important to get that Shadow Sword back to hitting on 4s, so that it can actually hit on 6s, because if it's -2, you can't even shoot it if you're hitting on 5s, which is a mechanic that really pisses me off. But, you know, work with what you got. So we've got some wounds taken on that Macarius. I'm guessing that's by the Shurikens and the Melter Shots from the Shining Spears. And we've got Josh back. So
Hey, lover.
we just got some wounds taken on the Macarius up
Yeah.
there. So I'm guessing that's the Shining Spears shooting.
Yes, it was. So, at first, while you're away, it did look like on the stream that the Shadow Sword without the sponsons was taking the damage, because what happened was Matt went to lift the top of the tank, which, because it's hollow and he can lift that top up, because that's where he stores his D20s.
Huh.
And then he got one out and then put it on the Macarius. It was a little confusing for me there for a second, but we got there.
He's converted that so we can make it every variant then, if he's left it open
Okay.
topped. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, so continuing on the chat. We've got Thor. Keep up the good work, painting some models and enjoying the stream. Thanks
Thank
heaps,
you.
Thor.
Thank you very, very much.
Total Not Panics. Did Jeremy actually paint his army for once?
No,
no, he did not.
Mate.
He
Davey
borrowed
Martins,
those.
Of course they are.
JB Painting. Yes, so for those who are wondering who is playing, it will show it in the bottom of the stream. So you'll see on the stream it says Team Vic Jeremy versus Team WA Matt. And if I continue on down, yes, Johnny says yes, I borrowed the models from Dave. Okay, so one of the things that came up during this stream, during the chat, was a question.
Yes.
Was how did Jeremy fire and fade when he came in from reserves?
Can you not do that? Is there an FAQ that says you
There's an
cannot?
FAQ, as far as I'm aware, that says you cannot move after reserves.
Okay, we might need to pull that up and have
bring
it
that
these
up.
guys. Now, we have a little bit of a policy where we're not going to interfere with games. That's not what we're here to do.
Yep.
We're here to just observe, commentate, and hopefully give you guys something worth watching and worth engaging in. But that is, if that has happened, that may be something we flag with the team captain after the game. But we're not going to interfere with games in play.
Exactly.
That's not what we want to do.
Because it'll put things on tilt.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not here to interfere. We're here to observe.
Yep.
And,
as a result, I mean, obviously, it has been now. I mean, it's shown that has occurred. So we will most likely have a chat with Jeremy in private afterwards, just to let him know if that is even actually the case. So that's the thing. I'm just going to bring up the big FAQ.
We'll see if it's even relevant, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, if he tables him in the first turn.
Yeah. I know. I can already tell you right now, he's not going to table him.
Yep.
That Shadow Sword is still alive. But he's most likely only going to lose the Macarius. Now, I thought he was going to lose both this turn. I predicted he was going to lose the middle Shadow Sword and the Macarius. If somehow the Macarius survives this round, this attack by the Shining Spears, we've absolutely got a game on. We've absolutely got a game on. Got some interesting things happening now as well. So Jeremy's just inquired what the bottom bracket of the Shadow Sword is.
So I've just looked at the rulebook FAQ, and at first glance, I haven't seen the ruling in question. So let's go look at what would it be under? It's under.
It's in the big
if I search
FAQ.
warp time. Can such unit move or advance for any other reason, e.g. the Shadow Sword's Hive Commander ability or because of a psych power such as warp time? That's part of a question. So, what about the rules for reinforcements says that when a unit is set up on the battlefield as reinforcements, it cannot move or advance further that turn, but can otherwise act normally, shoot or charge, etc. Can the unit move or advance for any other reasons? Example, warp time, and a few others. The answer is no. So I would need to double check the actual wording of
fire
the fire and fade just to confirm. to see whether or not it applies in this scenario, and yeah, in a nutshell. So if I bring up the Craft World Codex, I'll let Adam keep an eye on
Jeremy
the,
has just declared a charge with his Shining Spears. He's charging the unit of infantry right in front of him, and he's charging the Macarius. So the Macarius should be overwatching on 5s. He should absolutely pay that stratagem to overwatch him on 5s.
Yeah.
And with any luck, he'll kill 2, 3 guys, which can be really significant.
So Fire and Fade in this edition is a stratagem. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So let's just bring up the Fire and Fade strat. You can use this stratagem after a friendly Azerna unit shoots in your shooting phase. If you do so, the unit can immediately move 7 inches as if it were the movement phase. It cannot move, cannot advance. However, it cannot charge the same turn it does so. So my gut says that, if I'm reading that correctly, that no, he should not be able to fire and fade after deep striking.
Now, one thing to note about the Macarius, so we're just going to move on there. There's nothing we can do there. We're not going to interfere with the game or take any part in that. So he's just overwatching the Macarius. I'm assuming he's paid the 5+. He hasn't moved any of his command points, so I'm hoping he's paid the 5+ Overwatch defensive gunner stratagem. And he has 3 hits.
He only had 3 hits.
He only had 3 hits, so I'm assuming he did not do that.
That's a lot of dice to roll and not roll more than 3
2
hits
damage
on 5.
each. How many did he kill? I think he's killed 1. Oh no, one took 1 wound. What was he shooting then? I'm a bit they could have been strength 4 shots. If he's given all the heavy stubbers he can take, he's going to have a twin heavy stubber in the hull, 1 on each side, and 1 pintle mount. So they could have been stubbers.
So the Macarius has 2 heavy stubbers and twin heavy stubbers.
And twin heavy stubbers. So that was what he was shooting then, I'm assuming. That was the only reason you take 1 wound. But surely you do that the other way around and do the 2 damage shots, because now he's going to waste a 2 damage shot on something that's already got 1 wound.
Yeah, that's definitely. I believe that's the wrong order to do it in.
Yeah, I believe so. So only 1 wound went through there, and looks like he saved it.
Oh, jeez. Oh no, he's
now
doing
doing
stubbers.
stubbers.
Oh, it's very
maybe
odd.
it was the infantry squad up first. Yeah.
And I just heard 5s. Yep.
Okay.
So
there he goes.
Yep,
He's in the
done.
5s. Good lad.
yep. See this solid commentary here from or predictions from Adam. So
Picking it.
So
now the Macarius is shooting. All that shot then was just the infantry squad that Jeremy's charged.
So was that just 1 CP?
I think it was 2 infantry. Yeah, 2.
1 CP.
Yeah,
So it's gone down
and I
to
don't
12.
think he's got 12 there. I don't think he's rolled to see if he gets it back yet. So nothing from the stubbers, and now the big gun. Here we go. Once again, I would have totally shot the Macarius first because it's got 2 damage.
Yep,
weapons.
completely 100% agree with that.
100% would have gone first. All right. So he's only got 2 hits. No, he's picking him out now. So we have 4, 5, 6 hits. They'll be winning on 3s.
This is the
Only 3 wounds.
Jeez.
AP -2. So there'll be the 4 up invulns on the Shining Spears. He's failed. It's only killed 1, see?
Oh.
If he had done it the other way around, he would have killed 2. Because he would have taken...
No, we would have killed 1.5.
Well, no, so because the Macarius would have shot first.
You would have killed 1.
Yes?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, true.
And then
you're
he's still...
right.
So,
same
look,
result.
I
he
think
would have had an additional
the net result is... yeah, the net result's not actually a big deal.
Hugely different.
Yeah.
But
so because he shot with the infantry squad first,
Yep.
I think it was the right choice to then shoot the heavy stubbers next.
To try and...
I wouldn't have shot the infantry squad first, but...
as soon as you do that, next
you
shoot
do
the
that,
stubbers,
then you should
try and take off that ablative one you just took,
Yep.
and then the Macarius can try and clear
Do
some guys.
you reckon there's a potential that he was hoping to roll hot with the guardsman and decide whether or not he needed to use the CP? Although he has 12, so it just seems...
Yeah, it seems redundant. And I think he's got to roll to see if he gets it back, but he might have forgotten.
Epi Cheese. I'm not sure who Epi Cheese is, but he's saying Calamari Eric said, "Answer your fucking phone."
Oh shit.
So,
Dude, I'm busy. I'm working.
jeez, we're
What are you
working
doing?
here. But it's my first day.
It is. It's my first day, man.
Yeah, I
Relax.
should put my phone on silent though,
Mine is.
because I've got a missed call myself. Mine's from Mike Bask.
Who's the TO of the whole event, guys?
That's okay. That was at 6 a.m. Sorry, I've spoken to him since then. Yep.
I missed a call from Eric. Eric, baby, I can't just be taking calls from you at all time. I'm on stream, man. They'd hear what we say.
So that looks like that was a
Eric says, I'm playing Hammers, watching your stream on TV. Fuck yeah.
Alrighty.
He says, love you. Love you too, Schnookums.
Jeez,
those-
I
those-
better have got that same message. If I didn't, Eric, oh jeez. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
You're being deserved, Diffie. I'm new number one in Eric's book.
Yeah, so basically,
is-
what's just happened prior to this actual charge move? So it looks like, and this is, I think, a good sportsmanship from Matt Aird. So basically, what's happened is Jeremy has borrowed models.
Yes.
Okay, so when he's gone to allocate wounds to the Shining Spears, what he had is he put a wound counter next to the model at the very back.
Yep.
Common tactic, that's what you often do. What he didn't realise until after he had removed the model, that was the X-Arc.
Oh.
So, so he had removed the X-Arc instead of just a chump. And basically Jeremy said, do you mind if I switch that to another model?
Yep.
And keep the positioning as they were, because that's his fault for putting the wrong spot. So instead of taking the back model, he took the one just slightly next to it. In the end, not a big deal, but it does show that, because
that's good sportsmanship.
Good sportsmanship, because Matt is in his right to say no, tough luck.
Absolutely.
But one of the things you find in these sort of top tables at events like this is it's actually very rare, I find, to see poor sportsmanship.
It is, unfortunately. So I'll just let you know what's happening here.
Yeah, go for it.
Jeremy's pulled a bit of a big play. He's moved his spears, so they have charged, and they're going to consolidate into that second shadow sword. Second shadow sword. Whatever. And the plan here, I would assume, is that he's going to punch and kill the Macarius in combat, soul burst,
and punch
the shadow sword.
Because he'll
get into attack phase.
Yep. Does he? He gets to declare an assault, doesn't he?
No, he gets to fight as if it's the fight phase.
Yeah, but how does that work if he didn't declare that as a charge?
Maybe he did, and he couldn't see. He had line of sight blocking. The shadow sword couldn't see him through this piece of terrain.
Fair call. That's a solid move.
Because the Macarius is quite high at the front, so it could have blocked him off from being able to see. Now, we know Ninari is... They're full of shit. Their shenanigans are beyond the level of mortal minds. And by all means, they might be worded some silly way that lets them do it when no one else can.
Yeah.
So I would not put it past Jeremy to absolutely be spot on about knowing that. So here's the thing also. If I was Matt Aird now in this game, and that Shadow Sword survived, I was saying it before while you were away, he needs to do the auto repair on that, repair it for D3 wounds.
Yep.
And try to get it back up to its hitting on Thor's bracket.
Yep.
Otherwise, it can't actually engage any of the ranges or the Wave Serpent. They're all going to be -2 to hit. It can't hit them. I'd be spending a strategy to hit in 2s in combat. And either I'd be pushing up the board with that, or using that and all remaining super heavies to try and crush the Shining Spears in combat while shooting everything else.
Yep. And I am wondering, where is... So I'm not sure if for all those that can see this very well, because it's not showing up as clear because it's a black model and it's on a dark piece of terrain. So for those wondering where the hell St. Celestine is, all right, so there is in the top right-hand corner of the screen, so where that big clusterfuck is, she's in there.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a big U-shaped pipe, which we can...
The U-bend.
A U-bend.
Like in your toilet.
Yeah. All right. So directly there, on that, you'll see a model which has a little bit of a red tinge to it, which is touching the U-bend. Okay. That is one of the Seraphim. Directly to the right of that on the screen is Saint Celestine. She is, as I said before, modelled as Darth Vader and is black.
So we just had a few comments on our stream post from Unicage. He's just saying, stream's looking good. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. And for
Appreciate
Chris
it.
Yates, these are the 2 TOs for CanCon.
Oh, shout out
And
to
they're
Chris.
both appreciating it. Easy listening, that's what we're aiming for, mate. Easy listening.
Yep.
What else we got? We got any new comments down here?
No new comments, but
Slackers.
we are sitting at 16 watches right now.
That's 15. Like I said before, that's like 15 more than I thought we would get. So,
And
props,
so
boys,
we are
ladies, thank you
sitting
very much.
at 10:30, and which would be 12:30 back home in Melbourne, or on the East Coast, just in general. So one of the things you can see on Down Under Pairings is not only can you see the lists, we shared a link to that earlier on in the chat, but at all points you can simply go to downunderpairings.com.
Yep.
You'll find the ANZ Team Championships fairly easily on the home screen, or when you go through to the tournaments link. In there'll be an option to view the army lists. You can also view the current round and potential results and countdown timer. So for those interested, there is currently 1 hour and 15 minutes left in the round. So a lot of the time today has been eaten up.
What?
So I've just got a message come through from good mate Eric 5 minutes ago. I'm playing Hammers, watching your stream on TV. Fuck yeah, haha. All right, so thank you for
too little too late, Eric.
So
If this was The Bachelor, I'd give you a rose.
so Epic Cheese, mate. Let's get Mansky's game on the vid A. So my bet is
Is it
Epic
Walduck?
Cheese is Walduck.
Walduck.
Yep. So shout out to Walduck and Eric, who I'm assuming are playing games today at their place.
Give us updates on your games, guys. Post it up. Tell us who's playing what's going on, and let us heckle you. I will heckle you. So
Yeah, you get to
can
heckle
hear me
us. We can heckle you.
Well, I need to know what you're playing first, so I can tell one of you shit. But an update on Mansky's game for you all. He's lost a knight to the Talos. I'm assuming he's lost one of his gallants, I believe. Or was that the Crusader?
It's this one here. So
It's got a chainsword.
got a chainsword.
I'm assuming that's got to be a gallant then.
Yep.
And so he's still got his Crusader left, his Warden, and his other gallant. And the Draconis player has used pretty much all his Talos to smash into that gallant and take it out. And now Hayden's gone next, and he's just pushing everything he's got into those Talos. So it's going to decide the game right here. If he can bump through even like 2/3 of those Talos, he's got that game cinched up. But 4-up invulns are really weird, guys, and he can just roll hot and just bounce those knights straight off.
Yep.
Back to our game, though. You can see
Ooh, can you
that
see
Shadow
Shadow
Sword.
Sword missing?
Big Shadow Sword hole missing there. He must have declared the charge on it.
Yep.
He had to have declared the charge on
Yep.
it.
Well, he was low on wounds. He was low
was,
on wounds,
yeah.
so it made sense to just
So
tap it.
he would have had 12 left because he had 14 taken.
And then it was soul burst off that into the Macarius.
If that into the Macarius.
Jeez. This
Yeah.
Macarius.
Well, we know the Macarius shot, though, so he must have charged it.
Yeah, so I reckon,
So-
he multi-charged.
Yeah, he multi-charged.
Right? So he would have charged the Macarius and the Shadow Sword.
Yep.
The Shadow Sword is tapped it and killed it.
And now
he'll finish his attacks.
Yep.
On the Macarius.
Yep.
And probably
And then
a couple
he's
forced to go into the guardsman.
Yeah. And then he's going to soul burst off that and reconsolidate and attack again into the
100%.
Macarius. So
Yep.
this is what I said was going to happen at the start of the game, guys. But I thought it was going to be double shooting Reapers killing one, and then the Macarius going down to the Shining Spears.
Yep.
It just shows you what level Jeremy's kind of operating at. That he didn't even need to shoot the Reapers twice. He was confident enough that in his abilities that he could use the Shining Spears to take out 2 super heavies.
Yep.
That's, for anybody who doesn't know, that's close to 800 points. But it's actually over 800 points. Probably 850, 860 points.
And so
gone.
coming back to the I guess the previous point about the fire and fade and the legality of whether or not he was allowed to fire and fade.
Irrelevant.
As I said, it's completely irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
We'll still bring it up after the game just for transparency. But as I said, if we were to bring it up now, there's the potential that it can put someone off tilt.
Yeah.
And it is not our place. We are not
Absolutely
a tournament
not.
organizer.
No.
We are not involved. So yes, it's
Yeah.
as I said, not our place to get involved in that.
How's Dean's Corn going versus the Knights? I will just have a quick peek.
So, cables are getting tangled. Cables are getting tangled.
Oh, shish.
No, you're right.
Where is he? You'll be able to see my legs. Sexy legs. Oh, big head. I'm wearing the shorts. Fuck you, buddy.
Let's untangle you a little bit, bro.
Thank you. All right,
So,
so on that table we have...
You can see the lovely legs
still have-
of the Adam Camilleri.
we still have 3 Knights alive on that table, so every Knight's still surviving.
Because that list did only have 3 knights.
Yeah. He has wrapped the Dragoons in Plague Bearers, which
Interesting.
is kind of good, kind of bad for him, because that means the Dragoons still survive and they push back the Deep Strikes.
Well, it's unsure of what turn it is. Can you see letters?
I cannot see any Bloodletters.
Okay, so look, there's a couple.
Interesting. All right, so I might go do, after we see, we're about to see Jeremy update his points. So this
Yes.
is literally, this is the end of Jeremy's turn 1. The guard player has not had a turn yet, guys. So that is
So
quite
he's
terrifying.
on 4 command points.
And he's just put himself onto 6 victory points, I believe. That's a 6, yeah? Could be an 8. I'll go have a look.
I think it's 6, but just have a peek. Okay. Cool. So we're just gonna have a 6, 2. All right. Love your work, Jez. So yes, we're on 2 victory points so far, which are basically 2 kill points at this stage. And Adam has gone over to see how some of the other games are going. If you do have any questions, feel free to let us know in the stream chat. Okay, so it looks like the Gemini and Saint Celestine have just trying to have a little peek here at the table myself. Looks like they've got involved. I'm not sure to what extent. So what we're seeing in that top right-hand corner with that big piece of terrain, there's a level there, and so underneath that level, which obviously you can't see through from the camera, is where basically Saint Celestine and a couple of the other characters are sitting, as well as a number of the jet bikes to obviously maintain that unit coherency of the big squad. And we have Adam back.
So I've just taken a turn about the room, being the fancy lad that I am.
Any obvious games that you think are potentially going?
So big swing in the guard super heavies for Vic, playing against Peter Platel.
Yeah.
The Ultramarines.
How's it
the
looking?
Ultramarines are pretty much gone.
Really?
Yeah.
So Dan
he must have,
smashing that one.
I've got to assume all 3 super heavies are still there.
Yep.
I can only assume Dan went first.
Yep.
I can only assume he went first. We said that as well. Yeah.
Look, we did say it was swinging. I did have that in Dan's favour.
Yeah, I have it in his favour too.
However, look, dice space game. We won't get them all right, but I will still interested to see how close we are to the mark with our 98 battle points to Vic. Yes, so
it's only turn 2 is just begun on Dean's table, so he hasn't actually had the opportunity to drop any of his bloodletters.
Oh, really?
So
jeez,
they're pushing the.
There's quite a few games. There's quite a few games that have taken a shitload of time.
How long are we set left in the round?
So let me just bring up the timer countdown. So it's 1 hour and 8 minutes to go.
I'd be saying that game is going to end on turn 3.
I think there's a lot of games that are just not going to end naturally.
It's also very much a cluster F on the sisters, the Victorian sisters versus the demons.
Yep.
There's just a huge cluster of dudes in the middle. But I'm pretty sure the Drakari versus the Knights is almost decided in the Knights' favour. So that's Hayden Mansky's game, if you guys wanted the update.
So I'm going to have a little bit of a stroll myself. So I've had a question from, I'm assuming, once again, can you just confirm, hey, Epi Cheese, is that you, Doc?
Request.
But the request was, can we get an update on Queensland? So I'm just going to give my...
Nice. I'm going to have a butter menthol, guys, because I'm pacing myself. And you can always hear I'm coughing because I'm putting on my professionally voice from Professional Town. But update on the game we are watching right now. So we have Jeremy, who only scored 2 victory points that turn, which I'm assuming is only 2 kill points, and probably 1 Maelstrom card, or either First Blood, or however he's going to count it. But now we've got Matt Ed. He's just fallen back his Macarius, which is absolutely the right thing to do. If you stay there, he's dead. But it'll be interesting to see what he does now. Will he try to punch those Shining Spears to death? Will he fall back those guardsmen who are in combat with him as well? Or he's just going to keep him in there and just punch Saint Celestine in and try and kill him because he's Catachan, so he's wounding him on 4s. So it's not horrific. He has a decent chance of punching a few right down. The other thing I would do if I was him, I would move that Shadow Sword over to possibly charge that in to hit him on 2s. So you do not need to commit every single shot of fire you have into killing them, because the other thing that's dangerous here is he has another unit of Shining Spears in reserve, and they're the Baal-Tan ones. So you want to keep that guard screen there so that he's not charging Shining Spears. So if he moves that Super Heavy over, he can block them off from those other Shining Spears with that unit that's still in combat. So there's a bit of play there. He could totally buy himself another turn in this game and try and eke some more points out of this matchup. So Diffy's just still taking... It's Eric and Rory. Eric and Rory is epic cheese. That's fair enough. Diffy has rejoined. What's the update?
Okay, so it's a little hard to, with obviously not following the pairing process and having a thorough review of some of the lists, to know exactly how the Queensland's going. Because some of the tables, they're actually similar armies playing each other. So I think Simon's got a matchup that both look like they're pointy-eared elves.
Yes.
So it's with a similar enough paint scheme that I was struggling to confirm whose was whose. That looked like a pretty close game. There was only really 2 games where I felt it was very swingy. So Dineth, who I believe is playing Necrons.
Yep.
There weren't too many Necrons still on the table. So it wasn't looking too flash hot for the Necrons.
And he's playing against quite a strong guard gun line. He's got Lehman Russes. I think he's got 6 Basilisks in that list as well, plus a couple of Hellhounds.
Yep.
So that's pretty fearsome for Necrons. Necrons don't punch through that armor that well.
Yep. The other list that looks like it was fairly swingy was the Queensland Knight list. Was playing the Gene Stealer Horde.
Oh, okay.
And there was a lot of Gene Stealers in piles.
Oh, yes.
So it looked like...
I think that's to be almost expected there.
Yep.
He either goes in and rolls 6s
Yep.
and just takes him off because they're all neg-4 on the Rending Claws.
Yep.
Or he doesn't and he loses.
So
that's it.
So that was... so Queensland are playing the Merc team. So that is effectively the 2 games that I saw that looked fairly one-sided. Was 1 each.
That's good.
Okay. And just having a question from one of the players, old mate Mansky.
Mansky would like to know how much time's left.
1 hour, 5 minutes. Left in the round.
Sorry, the other game that I saw was for Vic was Tau versus the Harlequins.
Yep.
And it looked very good in the Tau favour.
Yep.
Which is what we assumed. With having that many Tau Fire Warriors all bricked up, the Harlequins are so fragile they can't actually charge them. There's so much Overwatch they'll just die to Overwatch on 5+, which is a real shame. It's kind of really hard to have a pure Harlequins list in a team matchup.
Yep.
I think it's so easy to get 20'd in so many matchups. It's very hard for Harlequins to get points out of bad matchups is what I'm saying.
Yep.
Very, very hard.
Yep. I think Harley's was it's not strong. I wouldn't take a Harley army and...
Honestly, I think Vic's done it best, which is slotting Harleys into a Dark Eldar army.
Yep, I agree.
Craftworld and Ynnari is a match made in heaven. And Dark Eldar are strong enough to hold up the weaknesses of Harlequins and cover them superbly. So I think those 2 are the ways to go there. We already know Ynnari and Craftworld is fucking dumb. We know that.
Yeah.
We know that, guys.
So one of the things I thought I'd give a shout out to is the Down Under Pairings Dream Team.
Yes.
So we've ended up with 21
Thank you so
players
much.
or coaches
That's amazing.
In the Down Under Pairings or ANZ Team Championships Dream Team. So for those unfamiliar with it, where have you been? You've been living under a rock. We have been plugging the hell out of it for the last week. But basically think things like Supercoach for Aussie Rules Football or Fantasy Football or those sorts of things. You got the option or had the option prior to the tournament starting, picking your 8 players, your team. And from there, you will receive a number of points based on a number of different categories and so on. What I would suggest is if you go to the Down Under Pairings website, I am going to just chuck the Dream Team link into the chat.
Just letting you guys know, update on our game. Jeremy's just spent 2 more command points, and I'm assuming that's got to be for lightning reflexes. Probably on those Shining Spears, which is a crazy good move. Now having them -1 to hit.
Yep.
So hitting them on 5s, maybe even 6s, if that, depending on how wounded that Macarius is.
Yeah, depending on the wounds. So that puts him down to 1 CP left.
Yes. And look how many's left on the guard. They have an opportunity to spend them.
Yep, 100%. Yes, so if you go to that link that I've just sent you through, what you'll then see is all the Dream Team coaches. you're able to click on their name, and it will show you who their team is. And obviously, at this stage, until the round has finished, no one has scored any Dream Team points. But you'll get points for being things like the first put-up. So just had a shout-out from Disco Boy to make sure we keep the victory point section updated. So we are keeping that updated as we go. At this stage, there hasn't been a huge number of victory points yet.
The guard player is playing his first turn, guys.
Yep.
Like, it's literally just been a big Inari first turn, and he scored 2 victory points.
Yep.
And now it's the guard turn 1. So it may look like it's been streaming for an hour, and we have.
Yep.
But it's only been 1 turn of the game. Now,
For sure. So I want to give you a
lot of factors.
Oh, you go.
That's due to a lot of factors. That's because Inari play 2 or 3 more turns inside their turns. So
Yep.
every time they psychic, they do more psychic powers. Every time they shoot more than every other army. Every time they fight more. They move more. So Inari takes a long time to play.
One of the things I feel as a player, you need to be able to bring an army that you can play in half the time.
Absolutely.
Personally, I'm of the opinion if you have a chess clock scenario available to you, you should chess clock every Inari player. And I'm not saying that as a negative towards any one particular faction.
Yeah.
As you just said, though, the list takes longer to play because there are effectively more phases to deal with.
Absolutely.
Or duplicate phases. So I would chess clock.
Yep.
Without doubt.
I'm of the opinion every single player should get like 10 to 20 chess clock games under their belt,
Yep.
so they don't need to use it at a tournament.
Yep.
Get your armies locked in your head about how long it takes you to play.
Yep.
And then you'll never need to use it again.
For sure.
Like literally just time it and then build those factors into your list, and then you'll never need to use it. No one will ever pull it on you. Yeah.
All right, so I thought I'd just do a quick run through my dream team, and then I might talk
Do it.
through your dream team. So my dream team, I went with the big spenders to start with. So I'm like, all right, who do I want on the team that I feel are going to give me the most dream team points? Now, for those unfamiliar, we had a certain number of down under pairing ranking points that you're allowed to spend on any one team, which in the end was 3,000.
Yep.
Basically, that meant if you wanted players like Matt Morrisoli, he is worth 368 down under pairing
He's worth
ranking
a
points.
sixth. Is that a sixth?
That is
Over a sixth of your total points.
And you have 8 players. So I picked Matt Morrisoli because I felt he was a strong choice.
Mm-hmm.
Now I also I did like him on Adeptus Soriatis because, as I said, he's been taking out event after event. However, round 1 he didn't play it.
Played Chaos.
We did put this in the article explaining how the down pairing dream teams works, but the general gist of it is you pick the player, not the army.
Yeah.
So think of it much like things like, as I said, Supercoach and fantasy football. You pick players, you don't pick positions.
Exactly.
If you have a midfielder that potentially has a bit of a strain in their leg, they may end up playing some defence for a little while. For those playing football. But yes, so basically I picked Morrisoli. From WA, I picked Tom White. I thought it was a must-have, solid player, worth having in. I've then gone Hayden Mansky from Team Vic. Went Christopher Wright from New South Wales. I don't know a lot about Chris, but I played him once, and he beat me.
He's got a lot of strong showings.
He's doing
a
quite
very,
well.
very good score. 482 is a very good
solid
score.
effort. I picked Martino, so if he gets solid effort here,
Now,
but
Tino's a bit of a bargain.
Well, he is, but here's the thing. I thought Matt Ed was a bargain too. I picked Martino and Matt Ed, and they're playing each other.
Okay, so you're going to lose out.
So any points, well, potentially, I can get points for winning, for Martino winning,
and
lose them because of Matt Ed.
Yep.
Then I've also got Will Wyckoff, Kirby, from New South Wales. And
is that his real name?
I believe so.
Shame on those parents.
Anyway.
Will Wyckoff.
Anyway.
Will Wyckoff. Will Wyckoff.
And final pick was at a steal, Jake O'Grady from WA.
Absolutely.
So Jake is a solid effort. He is, he's WA's effectively vice captain.
Yep.
He's been involved in the scene for quite some time. The reason why I say it's a steal is because he started up a store and so hasn't been playing a number of events.
I have an update on Hayden Mansky's game. He's just lost another knight, And I'm just going to do a quick count of how many Talos is left, because I feel like there's been a huge swing in this game, and it's just swung back to the Dark Eldar's way. He's still got 6 Talos left, which means Hayden's only killed 2. So that is a huge swing in the Dark Eldar's favour. Like I said, Dark Eldar are very swingy. You can go in, those 4+ invons can just bounce a lot of
100%.
wounds off, then they feel no pains. And they've got a really awkward number of wounds, being 7. So yeah, just weird things can happen, guys. So, but I feel like that's pretty cinched up for the Dark Eldar player now.
It's worth pointing out, if we take another look back at the main table, there aren't too many of those Shining Spears left.
Shining Spears have been absolutely gutted.
Now, as I said before, that piece of terrain is blocking some of the view from the camera because it's a multi-level piece of terrain. I'm just having a little bit of a peek. I can see 1, 2 Shining Spears, I think. So you can see 1 on screen and 1 slightly to the left of that. And that appears to be all that's left after St. Celestine has got in there. So the Macarius looks like it unloaded into the Shining Spears because the Guardsman fell back.
Yep.
So one of the things...
Which is absolutely the right play.
Well, I put to you that why did they get to fall back? So I don't understand why there wasn't a better wrap position.
He didn't wrap him.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
Well,
because
you saw what he did. He went for the big play. He might have gotten greedy and gone for to try and kill both super heavies, and he's only killed 1. And that's why he didn't wrap, because he might have been sure he was going to kill them both. But now I still don't think he's in a bad position.
Yep.
That Shadow Sword at the bottom, that Shadow Sword, that Macarius at the top is now pretty safe because of where the Guardsmen are.
Yep.
The second blob of Shining Spears is not going to make it into that Macarius, but that other Shadow Sword's exposed, very exposed.
Yep.
It's got nothing in front of it. He can just drop those Shining Spears dead in front of it, eat that one for Brecky. And then those Dark Reapers, if they can get in position, can finish the Macarius.
I reckon, out line of sight. So that piece of terrain...
He'll have to go up. He'll have to go up onto that piece of terrain.
Oh, it's a big piece of terrain in front of the Macarius.
That is true.
And it's pretty solid.
Yeah,
so
that Macarius might be fine. The problem is, though, he's lost the board. Jeremy's got the whole table.
Yep, agreed.
Even if he does not take that out, I think this is just a bit of a waiting game.
So with the...
and by the way, we've just gone into Jeremy's turn 2. So the Shining Spears that are left are survived. Jeremy's just pulled his Maelstrom cards, so I'm assuming that it means we've gone into Jeremy's turn 2. Now, Jeremy only has 1 command point left, where we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We've got 12 left for the Guardsmen.
All right, so let's...
And the Shining Spears are moving where they're going. They're staying exactly where they are. No, they're not. They're moving in between the 2. He's just asked him if that's a character he's pointed to. I think it's a company commander. So he's going to go snipe that company commander. He might have a card for it. Might have a gaze at that in a minute, see if he's got any big plays. But what I'm interested to see is where he drops that second unit of spears. If it was me, I'd be dropping him right in front, but to the kind of the lower right quarter of the table to shoot into the Guardsmen, because they're probably on an objective, and clear them off, and then charge the Shadow Sword.
Yep, that's fair play.
But he might not even need to. He might not actually need to drop them this turn. If he double shoots those Reapers and puts Doom on that Shadow Sword, he just kills it. He doesn't need to drop the spears. He can wait him another turn.
Completely agree.
Jeremy's got all the time and decisions on his side.
So I reckon, those 2 spears that are remaining, he's clearly just gone after the victory point.
It's a kill point. It might be a victory point. He might have assassinate or kill a character or kill something in the shooting phase.
100%.
So who knows? He might just be catching some easy command points. So that's, for those who don't know, we pointed this out before, but top right of the screen, you see that black model in front of the Macarius? that's St. Celestine.
Yep.
So now that's the first good look at her. So that's Darth Vader levitating around the place, and just being a general baller.
Yep. Which is what St. Celestine
St. Celestine is as well.
All
if only she could shoot lightning, Unlimited power!
So it is bottom of turn 2. Top of turn 2? Top of turn 2, sorry. Yeah.
So what time we got left? Probably about 50 minutes. So he's pushed up that Wave Serpent again. And I'm wondering why.
For those interested in some of the lingo of
50 minutes.
40k, some of the 40k lingo.
Yep.
So we'll often say things like top of and bottom of a turn. So top of a turn is effectively the person who went first. It's their turn. And the bottom of the turn is near the end of the turn is the player who went second.
Yep.
I've also highlighted changed the Twitch channel video stream thing to highlight whose turn it is. So not only do I say top of turn 2 now, we've also got it labeling Team Vic's Jeremy in yellow.
There you go.
So this is our first stream. We're going to learn a lot of things over the weekend. So we're hoping that as each game comes and goes and we go into the next one and the next one, we're hoping to obviously improve the quality of our experience.
Absolutely. And guys, if you're enjoying this stream, share it with your mates. Put that Twitch channel link, share it to them, get some more views on this.
You know what?
Help us out. If you're enjoying it, spread it around. Get some more involved.
Get
the more
some
people
love.
we have in chat, the bigger we build the community, the more smack talk we can do. And we can smack. We can talk some smack, guys.
Well,
because you know what?
Yeah.
Eric's shit. Warduck shit.
Yeah.
And Michael Hamilton. Remember what happened the last time we played? You got wiped, mate. You got whipped.
Rickrolled.
Whipped like cream.
So it does look like Martino has gone with the Reapers moving up onto the Ruin.
What can I say, guys? I'm here all day.
So all weekend. So I'll be interested to see what he actually has line of sight on to confirm, just what it is that, what he's going to be able to shoot.
Absolutely.
So he does have a second unit of spears in reserves, does he not?
Yes.
Yeah.
These will be the Bale Tan ones. And they'll come down, they'll spend the Bale Tan stratagem, and they'll get +2 to their charges. So they'll have a 7-inch charge instead of a 9-inch charge. And with any kind of reroll, that becomes really, almost. What is it? I think it becomes to like 70 or 80%.
So the other thing I'm seeing here, if you look at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, how big is that squad? Is it 6? Of the Baltan Shining Spears?
That's a max squad. It's another 9-man.
It's another 9-man?
Yeah, it's another max squad.
Do you reckon it fit in that hole in the bottom right-hand corner? Because that's an objective.
Behind?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, between. So it needs 18 inches between. I doubt you could fit all 9 there.
Yeah.
If you had a 4-man or a 5-man, absolutely. But because it's 9, I'm not sure you could fit.
Interesting, because I reckon there's a bit of space there.
I think there's a bit of space there as well.
I'm just taking a peek, and
it's not as much as you think.
It's not as much as I think.
Update on Hayden Mansky's game. He's just lost his 3rd knight, and I'd say that is done and dusted, guys.
Yeah, because I'm seeing a lot of Talos.
There's a lot of Talos
left.
So I can only assume that Hayden dive bomb. I saw him dive bomb 3 knights into all those Talos. I can only assume he bounced, rolled poorly, or his opponent rolled really hot on the 4+ invulns. Because it's absolutely a thing. Absolutely a thing. And it's a really hard decision to make whether you tap dance on them or go the damage 6, because they've got 7 wounds. So you don't want to do the damage 6, it doesn't do anything. And then they feel no pain, they save a couple of them.
Yeah.
But if you tap dance, you wound on 3s and only do D3 damage, which is very poor again. Like you almost need like 10 D3 to kill 1 Talos.
Yep.
So it's just, I'm not sure about that. So yeah, it looks like that's a foregone conclusion there. It's just whether or not he gets many points out of it. I'm going to have a quick stand up and see what I can see.
Yep.
We've got the Vic Dark Eldar versus... Who's he versing? He's versing the aggressors. There are still quite a few aggressors left on the table, but the Dark Eldar are literally everywhere. The Dark Eldar are everywhere on the table, so he's probably, at the very least, he'll be outscoring him.
Yep.
There's still 2 units of aggressors left, so that's pretty good. That's like 2 units more than I thought they'd be. And that's simply because Disintegrators versus aggressors is just horrific for him. The Knights versus Demons. All 3 Knights are still standing, and we have Bloodletters on the table. I can see at least 2 squads of Bloodletters down, but neither of them look like they're within charge range of the Knights. So the Bubble Wrap must still be there. Now he's going to be racing against the clock now, Dean. Dean will be absolutely against the clock to get points out of that matchup with only probably only 45 minutes left now.
Yeah, so it looks like we are in the psychic phase of turn 2 for Jeremy.
Yep.
And I haven't seen him bring down the second unit of bikes.
I think that was the best call. I don't think he needs it this turn.
See, my concern is looking at how much time we have remaining.
Is he going to get another turn?
Is he going to, I think he doesn't have a huge unit of... Most of the effort, or most of the time consumption of that first turn was that big unit of jet bikes doing so many different things. Also, the deployment phase took a long time. what we're going to find, this turn will go a lot quicker.
Yes.
Because he doesn't have a huge unit of jet
Yeah.
bikes to worry about.
And here's the other thing. So Jeremy just went down and saw his line of sight to that shadow sword. I believe, yeah. See,
He's going to shoot someone else now instead.
no. So he's got 2 guys from that unit who can't see the shadow sword.
Okay.
So those 2 guys will be probably shooting their multi-shots at the infantry,
Yep.
and the rest of them will be going into the shadow sword.
Makes sense. So do you reckon he's just soul bursted those?
I think he's
with
just
your
soul
range?
bursted him,
Yep.
which I think is the right call.
Yeah.
Now we already know what he's going to do here. After he shoots them in the shooting phase, he's going to fire and fade and get them back down.
Yep.
And he's not going to be able to engage with those at all, which
Yep.
is very. Oh my god, it's so frustrating.
Yep.
Holy crap, so frustrating.
100%. So coming back to our previous question about whether or not it was relevant, whether or not he could fire and fade in that first turn.
Completely irrelevant, I think.
Completely relevant, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think it would have affected the game whatsoever. Now here's a thing.
One thing or multiple things?
Here's a big thing. Yeah. Saint Celestine. Can she go kill those Reapers? She's got 24-inch root move. I don't think she'll be able to make it there this turn. Is it worth shooting her like a missile at him? Because she's going to die first turn. She's going to die that first time, but then she's going to come back, and she can come back right behind those Reapers the first time she dies.
Ooh.
And at this point, that's almost a play worth making.
But you say that, you have to also get rid of the Gemini as well.
Well, they have to die before she dies anyway. They literally have to take the wounds for it. They have to take the wounds for it.
Well, depending on the order, they don't.
Well,
So in this edition, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on the chat, guys. We're not infallible. However, my understanding is if you kill those 2 Gemini, and then take some wounds on Saint Celestine,
Yep.
and then the Gemini they come back.
Yeah.
Celestine's wounded. You have to put wounds on her
that's
first.
true. So
But it's yeah.
It's pretty plausible that he'll run. You can dive bomb Celestine out, kill a unit of rangers, because she'll move 24. She can kill like 1, 2, or got options for 3 units of rangers
Yep.
she can eat. Die to the Reapers or smites or whatever, and then repop by herself, and she repops behind those Reapers.
Possibly.
For me, if I am Matt Ed in this situation and he's getting towed up,
Yep.
it's obvious. Even if he's not losing units like at an absolute huge rate, he
Yep.
has no board control whatsoever. And
So when she pops back up, she can pop up anywhere on the table,
as
not
long as
9
there's no
inches.
Gemini on the board,
And no 9 inches?
yeah,
same-
no,
same thing.
9 inches away.
Yeah. So one of the things I probably would have anticipated is we see those units of rangers that he's got spread out,
Yep.
Jeremy that is. There was no need to put them all out where they are, I don't think.
Yes.
I personally would have left one of those Ranger squads further back to potentially block Celestine popping up in a position you
Yeah.
don't want her in. Now,
But from Jeremy's point of view, knowing how he's going to use his spears, you could theoretically say he's going to have to put Celestine into the spears.
Yep.
So I'm safe for her until she dies for the first time.
Yep.
So there is thoughts both ways. One thing we haven't done, we haven't updated Matt's victory points, have we?
he hasn't got any.
He's got 0,
He hasn't killed anything.
but has he got any Maelstrom cards?
Look, so at the moment his counter is on 1.
Yep.
Now it is a
started on
D20 countdown dice. So at this stage he's either on 0 or 1.
Or 1. Okay.
In the next stream, what we might do is we might ask the players to
Leave it off to the
leave
side.
it off to the side
and
while
then
it's 0.
Put it into camera view when they've got a point.
Or something like that. We'll have
Yeah.
to work out the specifics. But yeah, the end result is after each turn, we're having a little bit of a peek ourselves, and we're still going to update that bottom right-hand corner score panel. But as you said previously, if we miss something because we've got we're looking at lists, we're talking about another game, like we were just talking about Mansky's game before, then potentially we might miss certain things. So it's great to have that countdown
Absolutely.
dice so we can keep track of it. It's also worth pointing out at this stage, so objective placement. So we've got, I can see 5 objectives currently on the table. So I'm not sure where the 6th is. My guess is that back right-hand corner. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
So one of the things
Is that 6th there?
possibly, we'll have to double check. So one of the things we'll have to work out, what I'd really like to do, if we can't do it for this weekend, I'd like to do it for future events.
No, there it is.
Okay, it's in there.
It's in the bottom right-hand corner. The 6th one is the bottom right-hand corner with the guard squad.
Yeah, so there's the bottom right... well, just to clarify, in the bottom right-hand corner, there is 2 objectives.
Yes.
All right, one in a little bit more of a no man's land between the Shadow Sword and the Guardsman, and one in the Guardsman squad, pretty
Guardsman
much.
squad, yeah.
And then, of course, we have the one in the center of the top of the screen, and then we have the three pretty much in a line on the left-hand side of the screen.
Yeah.
Each next to a unit of Rangers. So one of the things
right
I'd like
now-
to do in future streams, if you've watched things like American football and so on, is I want to be able to draw on the screen and highlight stuff.
Absolutely.
We will continue to try and improve our improve the quality of our stream and features that we can provide. I have a question from Big Head. Do you guys have the pairings for the round? Yes. So
Did you post that up before?
yes, I think so. Yes. So if you go to downunderpairings.com, let me just bring up that link. You should be able to go to. If you want to just keep chatting, I'm just going to bring up that link and copy and paste it.
They don't deserve it. No. So we're up to. I'm just going to give you an update on Handy Mansky's game. Looks like he has run away from the Talos. He has decided he's got his last knight, which is his warden, and he's going the discretion is the better part of valor. I'm guessing he's just trying to gain some more points, and he's trying to run it towards his opponent's 3 Ravagers, which is actually good. So he can run into those Ravagers. He can kill one and maybe half kill one with shooting, and then stomp one, maybe even kill 2 with stomps, which would be big. If he gets all 3 of those, 3 kill points. That's a big swing. That covers the 3 knights he's lost, and then it's down to points again.
100%.
So we know Mansky. He's never gonna lie down and just take it. He's always gonna try and make a play. Update on the aggressors versus the Dark Eldar. There's a couple of flyers missing for the Dark Eldar, but I still think they look in a commanding position. They do have one shield captain on Jetpike all up in their grill, all up in their lines. But apart from that, it's looking pretty sparse for the Imperial Soup. That's the aggressors, the 3 shield captains. What do you have last? The 3 Dark Talons.
Yep.
That is something that is there are no Dark Talons on that board. So the Dark Talons are gone. And it only looks like he has 1 shield captain left. So yeah, 2 shield captains left.
All right, so I'm just going to have a little bit of a peek at some stuff. If you want to, as I said, keep chatting, and I'll bring the main screen back up.
So, Jeremy, what are you rolling here? This could be Dark Reapers. It's got 3 saves. Looks like he's just killing Guardsmen, I think, with Rangers. And Jeremy's just explaining the mortal wound mechanics. On a 6, you don't just deal a mortal wound with the sniper model, you deal a strength 4 wound in addition to it. So those 2 mortal wounds he dealt just cost his opponent 4 Guardsmen.
Oh.
So what I believe there Jeremy's doing is just trying to cinch up a few kill points and open landing zones for his Reapers who have to come down next turn. If you notice, those 2 slow shining spears have killed that, assuming was a company commander. Looks like they've just punked him in the head. And the melter shots from them against guard infantry anything is amazing. Unless you're Bullgrins, then you don't give a shit. Because you're Bullgrins. Okay. What do we got now? We have some wounds taken on that Shadow Sword. Naturally, I can't see it from here. I can only assume that was from the soul bursting from the Dark Reapers. I'm not sure if they've shot their second payload yet. That's another thing. Your Vrain's pretty exposed.
Yeah.
So here's a trick that I got pulled on me on ETC, yeah? If Celestine has 1 dead Gemini, I positioned myself so that Celestine could not charge any of my characters because I put myself 36.1 inches away.
Yep.
So she can move 12, then move 12 again, 24. If you're more than 12 inches away, you can't declare the charge. So what this guy did, he moved first, 12 inches, rezzed one of the Gemini in front of him, which bought him 3 inches, because 1 inch base and then a 32, and then it's under the 1 inch for the charge, and then moved again. So he had a 9 inch charge instead of being a 12 inch charge. So that's something he could do to try and reach out and grab your Vrain. That would be a Warlord kill, a kill point, and would take away Soul Burst, which would be huge.
Yep.
Oh, okay, so big thing that's happened there. The Macarius is gone. Macarius has just been removed. I can only assume that was because Dark Reapers could see it. Which is why I did not believe he needed to drop that second unit of Shining Spears this turn.
Yep.
So it looks like he's soul bursted, possibly half killed that Shadow Sword, and then actual shooting phase has taken off the Macarius. So that just shows you how efficient you can make Dark Reapers, or how absurdly efficient you can make them.
100%.
And looks like he has just charged the Shining Spears into somebody we can't see. I'll see if I can get a peek at that. No, can't make it out. Just see how many victory points. Jeremy's just finished his turn. He's scored 1 card, 2 cards. Yep, so we're just waiting Jeremy's scores. So he scored 2 cards that turn. And I think he scored, sounds like he scored 4 points that turn. He's changing the dice. Infantry squad, killed. Macari, that was Harker. That was who he put the 2 Shining Spears into.
Yep.
He took out the reroll 1s
So
for
he's
his
jumped
Shadow
up to
Swords.
he's just jumped up
to 7
7
points.
victory points. And
So a pretty commanding performance there. And he still has Shining Spears in his pocket, and he's almost wiped him without using them. It just shows you like the
pretty brutal.
kind of mastery you can have of a table with Yunari. I'm very happy we've got this on stream as well. So this is hopefully showing some people overseas the quality of players in Victoria. Sorry, in Australia. He's Victorian, which is the best state. You'll suck. But we have some quality players in Australia,
We do.
like worth noticing and worth paying attention to.
and it's also I'm pretty sure he has blown all his CP.
He has 0
So
CP left.
0 CP remaining.
His load has been blown.
Whereas
12 left for the
12
guard.
left for the
And I
guard.
don't think he has anything to spend them on. Like, honestly.
CP rerolls.
CP rerolls.
Yeah.
And he should repair the Shadow Sword for D3 wounds.
I would.
Because why
Yep.
not? You have 12.
Yep.
I think that's literally what he just did.
Alright. Jeez, you right there?
Yeah, I know. Just talking too much. Coughing.
Jeez. Alright.
Hopefully that didn't come up on stream, guys. If you guys ever hear me coughing, let me know.
Alright.
All right.
So
I'm interested to see. I'm hoping Matt can pull some points out of this game.
yeah, because it's looking pretty one-sided at this stage.
And Jamie was the put up as well,
He's
so he's going to
get
cash
a
in some big
shitload
points
of points.
because it's looking like he's going to get a 20.
But Matt Ed's going to lose me a few.
Exactly.
So
We haven't done my dream team, have we?
no, I thought
Okay.
we'd come back to it. So bear with me 1 second. I'll bring up a few other things.
I've been neglected, guys. Neglected woefully. So if I'm going to give a quick tally of, so we're looking at Celestine now. He's just checking his 24 inches for Celestine. Go get your brain. Stomp her, mate. Go get her. Moving 12. That's probably. Ooh, who is that moving 12 there? Is that a Gemini? It must be a Gemini. And here comes the other Celestine. And the other Gemini. I hate your brain.
I'm not a big fan.
I hate it so much. Would you reckon? You reckon he's in range? I reckon that could be a charge. He's got another 12 inches to move with him. I think he could make it.
I reckon he can get there.
And of course, with that move, you can move even if it's like a 10-inch charge. You declare
Yep.
the charge of all the ranges around him.
Yep.
And just try and clear them up. I think that's actually 2 characters in front of her as well. I think that's the Farseer and the Spiritseer.
Oh,
So that would be a. I don't think it's going to matter, but he'd leave this holding his head up high with some points in pocket.
yeah, although. Yeah, fair, but it's looking pretty brutal.
Oh, it's looking pretty savage.
brutal.
Here comes the second move. He is going for it. I'd say that's probably an 8-inch charge. So if that's a 12-inch move, I'd say it's probably an 8
Yeah,
or
it's
9-inch
pretty damn
charge.
close. It's pretty damn close.
I would charge all 3 of those characters, plus the 2 units of ranges. Charge everything in range. Stuff it. Just go for it.
Yep.
What do you got to lose? I think we got some infantrymen moving out the back. They got 2 on their advance. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's the Ogren Bodyguard.
Ah, the
He's gonna
bodyguard.
go stomp a mud hole on somebody.
Bring on the
Good
bodyguard.
on you, mate. All right, update on Hayden Mansky. He has run directly away from the Talos. And it looks like the Talos aren't that interested in following him. They're probably just going to go take the board now. But Mansky's Night Warden is bearing down on 3 Ravagers. And that Warden is...
Toast?
Has only taken a handful of wounds.
Okay.
It's only taken 1d6 worth of wounds. So it's fully operational. That's fully operational. It's a trap.
It's a trap! It's a trap!
All right, update on some of the other games. The Imperial Soup with the Sisters and the Smash Captains and all that good stuff versus the Demons. There is still a hell of a lot of Demons left on that board. I'm not sure what that signifies because the points could be anywhere. I'm not seeing any. I'm seeing only 1 Repressor left of the 3. So that could be going either way. But from what I can see now, I'd say that's going in the Demon's favour. The Dark Elder, the Vic Dark Elder versus the Aggressor Soup, as we'll call it, the other Imperial Soups. That's the Aggressors, Shield Captains, the Dark Talons. Like I said before, the Dark Talons are all dead, and all the Dark Elder flyers are still there. So are 2 of the Ravagers. So I would say that is looking pretty good for them. Yes, that's looking pretty good for them. Up the back, all 3 Shadow Swords are still alive versus the Ultramarines army, which just means the Shield Captains did not do what they needed to do. Because literally 1 Shield Captain could go in and stomp a Shadow Sword. So that's a bit unfortunate. It probably just means that the Shadow Swords went first, and seeing as they have 90 heavy bolter shots, all those devs would have gone down.
Yep.
Like a ton of bricks, and he would have lost the ability to do anything. So literally it was just did the Shield Captain's work. Looks like they didn't, and he lost. That's a bit of a shame, but at this level in the pairings process, you can get very, very swingy games. And I cannot see the Demons vs. Knights games because Mr. Sinbeck and his gorgeous bald head are in the wrong place. So yeah, but back to our game. Matt Ed has done all his movement, it looks like. I would say he's in the shooting phase, if anything.
ATC, you've got half an hour to go.
30 minutes to
30 go.
The 30-minute call has just been put out for the ATC games. The Dark Elder versus Knights game, the Dark Elder have just gone, and they have, in a interesting move, moved and jumped over the Knight. So he's betting that he kills this Knight this turn. Otherwise, that Knight only has an auto unfailable charges on all 3 Ravagers, whichever he wants.
Yep.
So he's placing a bit of a bet there because that could be a big swing in points. He hasn't moved the Talos anywhere near them either.
Also, from what I'm seeing here, those 3 Ravagers are actually all quite close to each other. He could quite comfortably shoot one
down,
and then multi-charge 2 at the same time because there's plenty of room for that to happen.
Yeah. And they they get involved in combat as well.
I honestly cannot remember.
I can't remember because if not, you can put 2 attacks into each, hitting on 3s, rolling on 2s, no save, just dead. But he's got a Gatling and he's got a Storm Spear rocket pod. The Gatling very easily takes out a Ravager.
So just a shout out to Andy, who was a big Hedis 1988, who was asking the question of are the pairings up. So just go to the Down Under Pairings link I've just posted. You'll be able to see each of the teams and who their opponents are. On there, the question is no involvements in combat for Ravagers. Or the statement, sorry. Or were you thinking about the Knight?
So what was it?
Sorry, one of the John Seymour just says no involvements in combat for the Ravagers.
I didn't think so. That Knight could easily kill all 3, which was what my gut was saying was going to happen. So he's betting that he kills that Knight, and looks like he only has 1 unit of Talos that can haywire into it.
Yep.
So that could be a mistake that he has undercommitted, because the Disintegrators don't do a hell of a lot to it.
Yep. All right. So if we look, so Celestine is.
She's taken some wounds. It looks like it could have been Overwatch.
Could have been.
Yeah, so he's taking some wounds on Overwatch. Looks like we could be in the charge phase. So we're taking some wounds on those 2 Shining Spears. It just stuns me that he's still got a unit of 9 Shining Spears in his pocket. It just
completely.
They are such a weepon of a resource to have, and to not even need them against 3 super heavies.
How many points is the unit of Shining Spears?
So yeah, he's essentially played like probably 200. I'm going to guess 270 points for 9 Shining Spears. Let's see if I'm right.
So Jeremy Martino, his list, it's the Bill 10 unit.
Yes.
It's 281 points.
Boom, that was pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's played a 1,600 point game.
Jeez.
1,600 point game against 1,850, and
Pretty brutal.
he hasn't struggled in any way, shape or form. But this is Jamie's played this list or a variant of this list for the last 12 months. So if
You
it
say
is-
that. He hasn't played too many tournaments.
but he's only played this list, so he hasn't confused himself in any way. He hasn't had to learn anything else.
For sure.
And this is one. So this is my broad sweeping statement about Eldar and Ynnari.
Yep.
Name me another army in 8th edition that has been as good and as dominant
For as long.
for as long.
None.
Anything that has been as good as this has been
None.
nerfed into the ground.
Yep.
In every other instance, this is the only army that has had longevity in its current form and its current iteration.
It
for
has
this long.
been. You have seen changes. So,
none of
alright.
it-
So
none
the
of them
LVO
have-
list, for example, the
Yeah.
LVO winning list, you would not see again.
Well, yeah, it's because all the Psychics went up in points.
So did the Dark Reapers.
and the Dark Reapers.
So I think what has happened is they've nerfed it, right?
Yes.
But people have then just there is so much quality choice in that book
Everything. Yeah.
that it's like, oh, okay, you nerfed this one thing, I'm just going to put this other thing in there instead.
Well, what was the question I put to Nanavati? Name a unit in the Craft Worlds Codex that you can't make good.
Yeah.
And we thought Falcons. Falcons are pretty trash, but stuff like Striking Scorpions, Howling Banshees, you can make incredible units with the synergy you have.
So we're currently sitting at 19 people watching the stream.
Oh, snap.
So
Thank
hey
you so
guys,
much,
if you can,
guys.
if you're enjoying what you're watching, please hit that follow button on the channel and share the link in your various Facebook groups and say, hey, check it, come check these guys out.
Yeah.
We'll be here all weekend and really appreciate the support. The more you guys watch, the more feedback we get through the
better,
chat.
and the better we make things.
It's the more interactive it can be. So, we're trying our best, obviously, to have no dead air.
So
ooh.
once semi-significant, it's a bit of fun.
Shadow Sword
Shadow
took out.
Sword just killed the Wave
Yeah,
Serpent.
cool. I reckon that's moral
punked it.
victory. That's all it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. Well,
it's not relevant in the game. It's
no,
too
it's
late.
not going to change the outcome. But that's probably the shooting phase done. Those Shining Spears have survived.
Yeah.
One of them's taken a wound. We're going to see a charge phase. The Bulgrin bodyguards at the top is going to try and charge that unit of 2 Rangers. If he makes it, they're squished.
Yeah.
They just take him off. And then we've got Celestine.
Interesting though. That's leaving that objective there. He's obviously going after that objective with the Bulgrin.
Yep.
All right. I would not be surprised, depending on what number the objective is. Like if it's a 1 to 4. Because
Yeah.
keeping in mind, everybody, that objectives 5 and 6, which we should double check, but objectives 5 and 6 are not worth any victory points at the end of the game.
Yep.
Objectives 1 to 4 are.
Yes.
So if that is
A 1 to
a 1 to 4,
And
I
we
would not be
know-
surprised if the Shining Spears drop there.
And
Or
look
they
at
might drop in the bottom right-hand corner, depending on, once again, which objective is worthwhile.
Well, yeah. Look how much time's left. If this goes one more turn, that'll be it.
Yep.
Yeah,
They'll
there's
get
no way there'll be a
they're
turn
getting
4 in
3
this
turns
game.
and that's
They're
it.
getting 3 turns.
Yep.
So him sitting that, could you get his list up? Has he got a slab shield?
I'll double check.
Because if he's bought the death mask of Atlantis on that guy, he's got a 2+ invulnerable save, and he might just be able to bounce those Shining Spears if they come down.
So, not the Ynnari list. You want
Just so you guys know, the Shadow Sword has just charged those 2 Shining Spears. Has he spent
awesome.
command points? He has spent a command point. Hopefully he's hitting on 2s against
Yep.
them. And
So
he just
the
runs them over.
Ogryn Bodyguard has a Bulgrin Maul and Slap Shield.
Yes, he did. He just spent that command point
Okay.
in the charge phase to hit him on 2s.
So we are currently sitting at 9 command points left.
Sorry, guys. I'm talking too much with my professionally voice.
And we'll update the victory points at the end of the turn when they do. But
Yeah.
what have we seen? We've seen a Wave Serpent go down.
Wave Serpent's gone
Is
down.
that it? Was
So
there,
yes, so
was there
far this turn.
another where Saint Celestine is? Was there another unit there?
No, there's one Ranger just there,
Yep.
which I think Celestine should charge, and should also charge those 3 characters. Let's say he rolls a double 1, picks up
Yep.
the 1, rolls another 1, at least he kills the Ranger.
Yep.
At least he gets a command point there. Honestly, I don't know why he didn't just flame it, use Celestine's heavy flamer and just take it off. But maybe he wanted to keep it as that backstop for the shit charge.
Because what it allows him to do is if he does roll low, he can tag it
And pile in.
and move the others a little
Because
further
he
up.
only needs Celestine to touch to kill one of those Eldar characters.
Yeah.
And the Gemini can string out. Looks like he's made the charge on the 2 characters.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's declared Yvrain as well. So with pile-ins... Ooh, I don't know why he's moved... No, he's just gone for the 2 characters. He's ignored Yvrain.
Yeah.
And this is Celestine hasn't died yet, guys. So Celestine is the thing that's gonna. There's actually no way for Jeremy to table Matt with Celestine have not died once. So she will come back.
Is that an auto comeback in this edition, or is it on 2-up?
2-up.
And he has CP coming out his
CP
ass.
coming out his ass.
Look,
so
it's
Matt's
unlikely.
Not going to get
yeah.
tabled because it's only going to go one more turn, and he's not going to die this phase to 2. So he's going to have to shoot her.
Yep.
If he doesn't lose any of these, he might be able to smite her out. I still think that's doubtful because he has a CP to deny with the deny stratagem.
Yeah.
And he has the active phase to deny as well.
Stratagem gives them 1 dice, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, 1 dice on a 4+ if the spell doesn't have.
Oh, sorry, yeah. But they can naturally deny using 1 dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, which they wouldn't. He'd use the strat.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Well, you do both. Fuck it, do both.
If it allows you to double deny.
Oh, not on the same power, but he's going to try and smite 3 or 4 times, Executioner, all that stuff. But so it looks like he's killed one of the casters. One of the casters has just gone down.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if he gets the other one down. I'm hoping that was the Farseer that went down, because the Farseer is always better to kill than the Spirit Seer. As now he's piled in, and he's wrapped. He's wrapped that Farseer or Spirit Seer.
Okay, so
that's a good play.
So to me, that looks like he put all of his attacks into
so he could wrap and tag.
What I'm assuming is Farseer.
Yeah.
And then
That's good play. That's good play by Matt. That's ensured without a doubt. He's not getting tabled. There's no chance, no way, no form. But now Jeremy has to run away with Refrain.
Yep.
Because that guy's going to die in his turn, and then he's going to... Oh, shit, it doesn't matter where he goes with Refrain. He's going to be able to get him. It's going to be 24 inches in his turn.
Yep. He would need to wrap... He can wrap Refrain with the Rangers?
Yep.
Potentially. Although that being said, he can just flame the Rangers and charge anyway. There's no way he's blocking that. Because not with 5 Rangers, you're taking a bunch of them out with that flame.
So look, Matt's not going to get tabled here, and he's going to get some points.
Yeah.
This might not be the 20 we thought it was at the top of turn 1.
Possibly. So the question here from Bezo is, hi guys, ATC not using clocks. Just to clarify, yes, clocks are allowed to be used.
Upon request.
They're on request. They're not enforced by anyone. But basically, if one player wants to use it, then yes, you have to use it. It's a one-person consent kind of deal. But
ATC players have 20 minutes.
So that was the 20 minutes left of the round.
So we've just updated the score for Matt.
And that looks like
is gone to 4.
4? Yeah.
It looks like the Ogren Bodyguard failed the charge, by the way, guys.
Okay.
And it looks like he did not kill the Shining Spears in combat, which is a shame. Which is actually, that's really unlikely. If he's hitting on 2s, 9 attacks against the Shining Spears, hitting on 2s, winning on 2s.
Is that strat hitting on 2s or +1?
Hitting on 2s.
Oh, okay.
You hit on a 2+,
regardless of...
on the turn you charge. Yep. So hitting on 2s, winning on 2s. It looks like he only did one wounds. So unless Jeremy rolled like a god on his 4+ invulns.
40 single players or round 2 matchups are now on Down Under Pairings. You can head to the tables and get underway. 40 singles or matchups are now on Down Under Pairings for round 2.
Okay, so
we're going into...
I'm actually pretty... You should be happy with this. Matt Ed's not going to get 20. They're both going to come out of it with some points.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty good. So for those of you who just joined us, the Dream Team that we've been doing, so the Fantasy Football League, Josh has both of these players in it. So he was always like, fuck, I'm going to lose some points here. Yeah. Because one of them's going to take the other one out.
Yeah.
But
this round was always going to hurt me. I'm in the Dream Team.
Yeah.
So I have on my Dream Team 3 Vix and 3 WA.
See, so it was a bad choice.
Well, I mean,
wait until you see mine, guys. Because I knew I couldn't get for prizes, I've picked nothing but dark horses with like eclectic, wonky ass lists.
Yep.
So they're either going to all my guys are going to get 20s or 0s. It's going to be great.
Yep. Fair.
Okay, so we have entered Jeremy's top of turn 3.
Top of turn 3.
And Matt has actually pulled this back to some respectability.
Yeah. And also in the Mancy's game, it looks like there is just a knight left.
Well, I am interested to know why he hasn't killed the Ravagers. Because Mancy has moved away from those 3 Ravagers, and looks like he had a very short turn. It may be that he had points to score, or that he was merely trying to run away from the Talus and not get tabled.
Possibly.
Because he might have some cards in hand to walk away.
Yep. Yep. So it is. Look, it's definitely a Dark Elder win for WA. But how big a win at this stage? Hard to tell.
We
And
have
Sigil,
just-
2 to 3 turns seems really, really slow despite the Eldar tricks and deployment time.
Yes.
Well,
I agree,
yes,
guys.
and well, look, the first turn took a significant amount of time. It did, but so did deployment.
Yeah.
I
And he did redeploy in deployment as well.
redeploy. So it's it's what I've said before about this type of list.
Yeah.
You have to really be on your game to get your turns in, and it is a player's responsibility to do that. If you don't believe there is enough time as a player to play your list, then you shouldn't be bringing that list.
Yvraine has moved quite a far distance. She must have got a big.
May have advanced.
May have got a big advance.
Yeah.
And he's just running over this side of the board. I'm not quite sure what he's doing now, unless he's trying to lure Celestine away from the Eternal War objectives. If those are the
Possibly.
ones at the top.
Possibly. Yep. So have you? I might have a peek at the numbers.
Do you need to take a break?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a piss.
Yep, go for it. I wouldn't mind taking a piss either. I'm keeping myself so well hydrated because I know how much we're going to be talking that the pee breaks, the tinkle breaks are
Yep.
going to be a reality.
All right, I'll be back shortly, guys.
So Jeremy is, I think he's just going to be really. If I was him, and I had such a considerable lead, we've got a 7-4 lead in his way, and he's probably going to have a big turn this turn as well. He has to drop his last unit of Shining Spears. They have to come down this turn, or they're considered destroyed. And he doesn't have a huge target-rich environment for him. He's got his bunker in the bottom right-hand corner with what looks like only one unit of guardsmen, and probably a character, a company commander or something. And he's got the Shadow Sword. Shadow Sword needs to go. But even if it stays, it's not doing all that much. To be honest, with the Shadow Sword there, you can almost leave it and just try and clear up as many kill points as you can. Kill all the characters, kill all the infantry squads, because that Shadow Sword does not have any sponsons. It's only got one twin heavy bolter and the main cannon, which means at best it's killing 2 units a turn. With so many negatives to hit on your units, it's not killing anything effectively in your army. So if I was Jeremy, I would just try and clear up every possible kill point, and just the Reapers can kind of take the Shadow Sword off at will now. But saying that, there's no reason not to soul burst them, kill it, and then shoot and kill something else with them. There's no reason whatsoever. What's going on in chat, guys? So I guess if it went to turn 5, you could have tabled the opponent, so he's at a disadvantage. Yeah, look, if this went to turn turn 5, there's very little chance that Jeremy would not table his opponent. Very, very little chance. So, to be honest, at the end of this turn, I'll be surprised if there's anything left bar Celestine at the end of Jeremy's turn. Most likely it's just going to be Celestine. She's going to kill that Spirit Seer or Farseer, whatever she's wrapped. And then she can pop out and probably kill 2 more units, and that's probably going to be the end of the game, guys. Knowing that'll, if he gets no cards, hopefully that's a Warlord kill for Yvraine and maybe a unit of Rangers, or possibly even 2 units of Rangers, because there's one single guy in a Ranger unit that's underneath that other one. That Ranger unit right in the middle of the table, there's a single dude underneath that. So he could kill that one, kill the one on top with the Flamer from Celestine, and then charge and kill Yvraine. Be 3 points, would put him up to finishing on 7. Here's the other unit of Shining Spears have just dropped down. Now, that's an interesting place to put them, to my mind. He's either going to shoot into the Ogryn Bodyguard and hope that the Melter shots get through the 2+ invulnerable save, or he's going to shoot into the Shadow Sword, which honestly should die to the Reapers, and then he can shoot everything to Ogryn Bodyguard. The Shurikens do work against it, the Melter do work against it, and he can charge it. The sheer amount of shots that they put in is obscene. Or I could be completely wrong, and he's not going to put them there at all. And I've just been talking for a minute for no reason. But that's good too. Let us know how we're going, by the way, guys. This is literally our first time. We are 2 minutes, probably 2 hours into our very first live stream. I feel like we're doing an okay job considering. Only thing I wish we could change would get the frame rate up on to a higher level on the board. But it's pretty easy to keep track of what's going on at this stage. So they have dropped down there. He's going to drop them exactly 9 inches away on that objective. I'm guessing that's because that's an Eternal War objective and he can't afford to lose it. So for those of you who don't know, we've already said it a couple of times, but we've now got 22 viewers. 22 viewers! You magnificent, magnificent human beings. Thank you so much for joining us on our first stream. So objectives numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4 count for Eternal War at the end of the game. They're probably worth, I think they're worth 3 points each, so that is considerable. That's 12 points up for grabs right there. But 5 and 6 count for Maelstrom. Now he's going to sit them on that, and they're going to have a 7-inch charge onto that Ogryn Bodyguard. If they touch it and tie it up, the Ogryn Bodyguard's not going to punch through them to get that objective off them, so they should be pretty safe. So Josh is just about to join us again. Big head, can look at me all day, lovely. Well, you are a gorgeous man yourself.
So a little bit of an update. Dan Martin from Vic is about to table People Tell. He has literally one model left, and he's about to take that model off. The Tau for Vic looks like it's going to be a big win.
Mansky, Hayden Mansky Dark Elder game, it looks like it has been called. It is over, and with Mansky getting wiped.
Was he wiped?
Well, he's no knights on the board anymore, and neither of them are there to be seen, so they might be getting a drink. We know how much Mansky loves a frothy, so he could be off, hopefully getting his opponent to buy him a drink, because he's got a bit of a
opponent
drubbing.
is not buying him a drink, at least at the moment. But
well, that's just not good enough. We'll have a chat with him about that. Because that was a bit of a drubbing in WA's favour. Update on this game, we have some shots being fired. I'm guessing this is soul bursting. Yes, this is soul bursting Dark Reapers on that Shadow Sword. And it looks like he's probably just taken at least some more, 3 each. Just going to listen in, see how many wounds they got left. Could you do us a favour and see what that D20 says on that that big tank? He's got 9 wounds remaining on that Shadow Sword. Okay, so... So that's Pistol shooting at the Farseer. He's got 2 wounds left on him.
Yep.
And now he'll be shooting pistols in there again. Unless he's taken wounds before, we haven't seen that.
So we are sitting with 10 minutes to go.
Yep.
Looks, there's been a couple of big swing games.
Whoever that was in the center just killed one of the Gemini.
Okay.
That's interesting. And did some wounds to another one.
So would have shot some pistols. No, shot some pistols in the shooting phase.
I thought this was the psychic phase.
I've obviously been away. So
and those Reapers just soul burst.
Might.
Oh, of course. What am I talking about?
Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Where does the 2 teams sit overall for the round so far? So at this stage, I'll have a peek if people have updated their scores. So far, no scores have been entered into Down Under Pairings. They are, yet to enter their scores. But we will let you know. And let me have a peek if any of the other teams are yet to enter their scores. So Queensland versus the Mercs. We have 2 games decided so far. So for those playing at home, the Mercs Night List got a 20-point win against the Mike Larkin's Astra Militarum. We did say that was going to be that was the other Night List.
It must have been the other Night List.
Jeez. And then the Queensland Night List, who was playing against the Gene Stealer mob.
Yeah, mob.
Got a 12-point win.
Really? That's interesting. We thought that was looking like a completely dominating, pretty comprehensive win. Back to our game. What do we got getting rolled here? Josh has just bailed on me again. He's leaving me high and dry, guys. We're supposed to be a team. It's okay. I got this. We have Jeremy shooting a lot of shots. I can only assume this is either double shooting Dark Reapers or this is the Shining Spears shooting into the Ogryn Bodyguard. They're the only 2 units he has that has this many shots. So they could all be shurikens. They'll be winning on 5s if they're shurikens. Let me see what we can pick up. No, winning on 4s. Interesting. So what is that? Just trying to figure out what he's rolling for.
Who?
Jeremy. So he's just rolled 5 wounds. They're winning on 4s. What's...
Interesting position of those jet bikes.
The Shining Spears? I'm assuming that's got to be an Eternal War. Has to be an Eternal War
Yep.
objective.
And that must be like bang on 9 inches away from...
And that's the Ogryn Bodyguard?
Yeah, he'll go
so
for that.
He'll charge the Bodyguard, tie it up. It won't be able to chew through them, and he'll secure that objective with the Rangers.
Yep. He could probably even just trail back a couple just in case.
Just in case, absolutely.
Yep, stop someone. So, for example, the heavy bolters from the Shadow Sword could, for example, take out those two rangers. So if you just tie up the bodyguard and don't kill it, and just trail back a little bit, then you should be safe. Okay,
so no, that was the. Looks like that was the Reapers doing their multi-shot into the guardsmen at the bottom right,
which have just been evaporated.
They've just evaporated.
Is there one left there?
That's a character, I'm assuming. That's going to be a company commander sitting on an objective. But that's probably taken that Eternal War out of the game, if that is one.
My guess is the other Eternal War is. So what you've got is you've got one jet bike currently in base contact by the looks of it against the Shadow Sword.
No, it can't be. He shot it. So it can't be in contact with it. He soul bursted the Reapers into the Shadow Sword and took it down to 9 wounds remaining. So that's
if you look in the what's next to that jet bike in the right hand side near the Shadow Sword, is that currently in base with an infantry model?
Oh really? Snap! That would be pretty big. And it looks like he's just killed it.
Yep. Okay. So what you could end up seeing though in Matt's turn 3 is he will most likely try and advance that infantry model in the bottom right hand corner to the other Eternal War.
Yep.
And he'll move the Shadow Sword, assuming it still is alive and has the right movements and stuff, to the next Eternal War. So I think he'd still probably comfortably keep those two.
Do you want to hear about a shenanigan?
I do.
That I just thought of something that Jeremy could have done. So
Grimfang, great work, guys. Perfect thing to sit and watch while painting for a tourney. Keep up the great work. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the feedback. So, see how he smited out one of the Gemini, yeah?
Yep.
If he was to soul burst that character could fall back.
Ooh.
Because he's left a gap.
And
he hasn't done it.
Yeah.
They've moved past this. I think they're into the charge phase.
Yep.
Or the shooting phase. But
for that to have worked, your rain would have had to been in
line of sight.
In line of sight.
Yeah, can't see it.
And it also would have banked on the fact banking on him killing one of them, which I think it was a safe bet.
With the amount of smite he got, I think it's a safe bet. So I think we're at the end of Jeremy's turn. He's counting up his Maelstrom cards, which I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that that Shadow Sword is alive.
I don't think it is the end of the turn. I think he's counting up as he goes, because I don't think he has had the assault phase. Because there's no way
exactly.
Unless he failed the charge with those jet bikes.
Failed the charge with the jet bikes.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
That would be disappointing.
That's the other thing as well. He has no command points to play Court of the Young King. So he can't get a 7-inch charge on those jet bikes. That would have been a 9-inch charge, so he very well could have failed it. Because when they deep strike down, you've got to pay the points to get the +2 to charge, and Jeremy has had no command points for the last since the middle of the top of his turn 2.
So I'm looking at that dice, and I see that as a 10. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
So I believe player 1 victory points.
And the other thing to note is that in combat, Celestine failed to kill that Farseer.
Really?
So he's not running away and cleaning up your Vrain.
Interesting.
That's going to cost him about 3 points.
Oh.
Because he could have killed. There's a single ranger underneath that one in the middle. Okay,
no. They missed his.
Oh, they're going
assault.
back to it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So 5 wounds on that Farseer. He's going to have multiple
question
saves.
from Big Head: did Morrisali lose? Their game is still going. I'm actually unsure how their game is. It's not easily in sight. I can see Tom White picking up one of his Wave Serpents and putting it in the dead pile, but it is hard to see just how many things are Cactus over there.
So that Farseer or Spirit Seer, whichever one it was,
Cactus.
is now absolutely dead.
Which we knew was going to happen.
We knew it was going to happen.
So he's going to heal a Gemini, and then
Faith heal a Gemini.
Then he's going to.
I would not have bothered. I would have moved 100%. Use that Active Faith to move. Oh yes, okay. So he's gotten 1 Active Faith.
So the one unit. So the you can. Active Faith can heal.
Yep. Unless you have 1 wounded.
Yep.
And then at the start of the turn, you either heal some wounds or get 1 back.
Yep.
So
he's gone
Active Faith
Active
healed,
Faith,
and then auto got 1 back at the start of the turn.
Yep. So he won't get the free move. But my guess is that the positions that he's currently in, he doesn't need to move.
Yeah, the 12 inches is more than enough to get him where he wants. Now, if I was him, I would jump all three to in between where the ranges are and your rain. I would use the flamer on the ranges up top.
Yep. No,
And
see, I'd go. I'd
unless
jump.
this
I'd
is
flame.
eternal
I'd
war.
flame. I'd flame one of the unit of ranges, and I'd charge the other unit of ranges, clearing out the two.
You wouldn't go through your rain to get a warlord plus a kill point.
You'd get the kill point for killing the ranges, and
Yep.
you get 3 for the eternal war.
Well,
Because you
what I was-
take
what I was
3 off
saying is
him. You take 3 off
You can
him.
kill the rangers as well. Yeah, so you got a heavy flamer,
Yep.
2 bolt pistols or frag grenades, which is I'd throw
Yep.
one. You park them between those two, use that to clear her off, and you could string out. You could put a Gemini there. You pretty much only need Celestine to kill your Vrain, and looks like she's taken wounds already.
Yep.
You can
But-
sit one Gemini there and just one
All
in the
right.
middle. And
But
one,
if you
Celestine on
take
your
out
Vrain.
your rain and you leave a unit of ranges on an objective, all right, you've left him with 3 victory
No,
points.
no, I'm saying you use them to kill that. You use the flamer and the frag grenade and a bolt pistol
Yep.
to kill those rangers off.
I'll be right back.
Or so there's some big plays here that's to let Matt come out of this with some points, but Jeremy's going to win. It's pretty obvious Jeremy's got this locked up. This is the last turn of the game, by the way. There will be no more turns in this game. And so it looks like there's an Eternal War at the top where the Shining Spears is. There's no way for that one Ogren bodyguard to take that away. So the best bet he's got is to get a kill point and kill those 2 rangers. Oh, it looks so he's shifted around a bit. So the Shutter Swords come down to hold that one, that objective in the bottom right. Yes, you are right. Totally, no panics, not panics. You do get one back for free. So it didn't cost him anything. But he doesn't need a double move, so it was irrelevant. So if I was him, I would try and take that Eternal War. So you're saying you don't believe he can do both. You don't believe he can kill your Vrain, unless he tries to kill your Vrain with the shooting, because he knows he can kill the rangers in combat. There's no chance he won't kill the rangers in combat. So just see how you go. Shoot. So heavy flamer your Vrain, a couple of bolt pistols, a crack grenade, whatever you want. See if you kill her. If you don't, charge into the rangers, take them off, kill point, and an Eternal War objective. So. Look, that's still a decent swing. So I think that's playing it safer, going for the secure points. Shoot your Vrain, charge the rangers. I think that makes sense. I was trying to do it a higgledy-figgledy way. Because I'm not hugely confident that you could kill her with shooting, but playing it safe, you don't go for it. You just go for the Eternal War.
Yep.
I wonder what he's marking here. Has he got deep? Oh, he's got a unit of Scions in reserve.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to do much.
Not going to do much. They're probably just going to come down and get a line breaker. We have
So we're going to be quite a large or loud announcement, so just bear us 1 second.
I might take this opportunity to have a pee break. How do you mute? Just press that.
Sorry guys, we'll just wait till the big announcements finished. So what I might actually do is I just might mute both of us because it's very loud. So bear with 1 second. So the announcements are still going, which obviously are quite loud. Hopefully you guys can still hear me relatively clear. If you can't, let us know in that chat. I might even try and cover the mic just a little bit. But basically, we've had time pretty much called on Jeremy and Matt's game. So they are just wrapping up their turn 3, which was pretty much what we expected based on what we had seen so far. And I think they're just talking through what they might do. I'm not sure. Oh no, they're going to roll it out. They're going to roll it out. One of the things you often see there we go. One of the things you often see in a top table game like this. Apparently you can barely hear the announcement. Thank you very much, Big Head. So yeah, it was very loud here. But yes, so we're looking at the as I was saying, top tables. Generally, what you'll see in a situation like this, people will talk through what's going to happen, and the things that don't need to be done will often just go, all right, cool, yes, this would kill this, so let's just remove the model. There are some things which it looks like he is actually going through. So it looks like he's using the Shadow Sword to shoot at the Rangers. And in that situation, it's probably because the maths are not as obvious. So you might have a situation where you go, all right, well, it's not a guarantee that we're going to wipe them out. You might kill a bunch of them, then maybe one dies from leadership and so on. So they've obviously rolled that one out. But it wouldn't surprise me if they decide to make a couple of other rolls. All right. So, apologies all. I didn't update the whose turn it was. I won't bother because we're just about to wrap that up. But it is... actually, no, we'll do it for clarity. So it's Matt's turn. Jeremy's, as I said, he's done. His turns are finished. So at this stage, I'm not 100% certain. I'm just going to bring up the results to see how the round has gone for Vic versus WA. So far, we have Matt Morrisoli got smashed, so Tom White got a 20. Mitch Byrne got a 20 against Mansky. Daniel Martin got a 20 against Pete Platel. So basically 3 results are in, and they are all 20 zips. And so there's 5 results still to go. So this one looks like it's going to be a little closer, but most likely in Morrisoli's favour. Sorry, Martino's favour. And then the remaining games, I'll be interested to see how the scores go. But it's looking relatively tight. This, in my opinion, was the round to watch. So Queensland are the reigning champs. However, there's no secret that a lot of their top players from the last few teams are not in attendance this year. It is not their strongest team that they have sent to date. So I would put Vic and WA as favourites. So this was a clinched round. Don't forget to unmute. So far, we've got 3 results in. They're 20 zips.
In which it's
in WA 220s, and we've got 120.
Big swings. So they're debating over one game right now, where the aggressors and the Smash captains versus the Dark Eldar. What has happened is there is one Smash captain left, one Shield captain left on 2 wounds.
Yep.
And there's no ground units left for the Dark Eldar. He has 3 flyers left. One Shield captain on 2 wounds. It has 1, and it essentially wiped the Dark Eldar because of boots on the ground.
Jeez.
Well, I'm assuming that's why it's been ruled, because they've just hugged the guy.
That's the rule, isn't it?
It just depends on when it is, because the Deathwatch guy went first in the matchup. So is it the end of any turn, or is it the end of the battle round? Because in the battle round,
I believe it's player turn.
I think it's player turn as well. The end of the battle round, those 3 flyers just kill him on 2 wounds.
Yep.
They just kill him. But if it's the end of any player turn, he 20s his opponent because he's essentially tabled him.
Yep.
So that's huge, guys. Huge swing in this. And it looks like WA might cinch this round against what we believed was going to happen. So, do you know what that is? That's fucking awesome. Because if this just went how I thought it was going to go, it would be boring as shit.
Yep.
And this game, look, him actually getting points out of it. Is it Mark or Matt?
Matt.
If Matt getting points out of this game might be super significant. Super significant.
No sheet.
Super
Still
significant.
No
so, looks like he's done what I said.
Yeah.
He's tried to shoot down the Rangers.
Wrong move.
Killed 2.
Wrong move.
And now he's going to try and kill those 2 Rangers with 2 Gemini to kill 2 Rangers.
Wrong
Celestine
move.
to kill Yvrain. If he can pull it off, we'll see.
Nah. Wrong move. He should have taken out the 2 units of...
You think just played it safe and just gone...
It's not playing it safe. It's more points.
It is. It's more points.
It's more points.
He's trying to get greedy and do both. Because he knows it's the end of the game.
All right, so what he's going to be able to do, all right, so he should be able to kill Yvrain. Well, is it more points? Okay, so if he takes...
So Yvrain's worth 2. It's going to be worth Warlord, and it's going to be worth...
All right, so right now, assuming nothing, like everything survives, Jeremy's got 6... Haha. All right.
So yeah, assuming...
I'm just going to mute myself for a second, guys.
Assuming everything goes Matt's way, he will get 3 points for that Eternal War. He will get 1 point for killing the Rangers. He'll get 1 point for killing Yvrain and 1 point for a Warlord kill. It's a 6-point swing. He could have played it safe and guaranteed himself getting a 4-point swing and taking 3 points off Jeremy, but he's gone for the big play. So that's going to be really interesting if he gets it off. Yvrain's no slouch to kill. She's got a 4+ invulnerable save. I think she's already taken 2 wounds. I think she starts with 6, so she's got 4 wounds. So Celestine's pretty likely to poleaxe that. Very likely to poleaxe that. So, look, this is pretty interesting. Yvrain's gone. Yvrain's just dropped. She is gone. And now it's just up to whether Gemini take out 3 Rangers. So this is... Mate, this round has just been completely turned on its head, guys. And that is the best news I've heard all day so far. Apart from you guys saying you love our sexy faces and voices and stuff. That was nice too. Ooh, so we've got 2 Gemini. Have they killed? Oh, they have. He's got it. He did the big play and he got the 6-point swing. Fuck you, Josh. I was right. You guys remember this first stream? Adam was right.
I'll have a review.
That's huge, guys. That's a 6-point swing. Just on kill points and Eternal Wars. If those units were worth any Maelstrom at all, that could be 8 or 9-point swing at best. And that's huge, guys. Huge. And he's going to pick up a kill point at the top when his Ogryn Bodyguard smashes that Ranger. There just goes right there. So that Ogryn Bodyguard has picked up another kill point there, but he's not going to hold that objective over Jeremy. Jeremy's got more models on there, and none of them have OBSEC. All right. Did Vic take WA lightly, mate? Did they? This is the question. Because coming into this event, Vic, based on their lists and their players, were fairly heavily tipped to win this event, and it looks like they might have kind of stuffed it at the first hurdle. So we'll see.
Alrighty, so if that's the case, Adam, clearly need to adjust your prediction skills.
Who said that?
So, alright, so what would have been really nice to have some dice here,
but here's the thing about, you can say that all you like, but in a team event, matchups, is a huge defining factor. We have to tip just based on list versus list.
Yep.
Does not take matchups, does not take player skill into account.
So one of the things I wanted to point out, so before the charge from St. Celestine,
Yep.
he was, Jeremy was on 2 Eternal War objectives, so that's 6 victory points.
Yep.
Alright, to effectively 0 in that little time. Well, it's not my call. So I'm just being asked how much time's left, but it's not my call. So, so yes, they had 6 victory points to Jeremy to 0 in that little pocket. Okay, so he then took 3 away. All right, and he's then gained 3. All right, so that's now 3 to 3.
Yep.
All right, and then he's taken Warlord, and so then effectively it's 4 victory points to 3. So a 1 VP swing. Okay? If he had taken out the 2 units of Rangers,
Yep.
he would have taken away the 6 points altogether.
Yep.
Alright, and he would have gained one of the objectives, would have gained 3.
Yeah.
He would have ended up with 3 more points so it would have been better to take out the 2 units of
Holy
Rangers.
crap, I think Jeremy just lost.
Jeez.
Because I think the 3 objectives that he here is on are Eternal Wars, and that's a 9-point swing.
Jeez.
Oh my god. Did we just see that?
Looks like it.
Yep, and looks like Vic has just realised they lost the round horribly.
So,
Wow.
so
Do you know
far...
why? It's because we didn't play.
Ha
We're going to stick it to him.
So if I'm looking at the pairings, which you can find on the Down Under Pairings, so Tim Rosenberg got an 18-point win.
Yep.
Lee Abbey only got a 12-point win.
Yep.
And we got a 20. So basically, there's 6 results currently in Down Under Pairings. 3 of the results are 20 to 0s to WA, and
the
3
only
of the
2
results for Vic,
and none of them are 20s.
and none of them are 20s. So we've got a 12 and 18. Oh, so there's 120.
That's Dan Martin's game, yeah?
Yeah, Dan Martin got 20. So right now, we're on Vic are on 50 battle points. So they need another 25 battle points from the remaining 2 games to get a draw. Okay, so as a result, WA currently on 70 battle points. They only need 16 points to get a win.
And it looks
So,
like they're going to get that from...
I'm not sure how big a win this game is.
What's that green dice on now?
I can't see, to be honest.
I'm going to go over quick gaze because that's important. End score, 18 to 10.
That'd be victory points. So it was an 8 points. So that means it's a 14.
I'm not sure if that's taking into account Eternal Wars or not.
Yeah. So that
could just be the
if
kill
that is
points.
the case, that'd be a 14 to 6.
14 to 6.
If that is the case. So, yeah.
So I think that's... I am actually stunned. And well done, Western Australia. Well done, guys. Who was the guy who said if it went to turn... it's going to hurt him if it doesn't go to turn 5? Because you were actually spot on
I
in this
guess if
stream
it went
game.
to 5, he could table the opponent.
If it went to,
so
if it went to
he's at a
5,
disadvantage.
I
Yeah.
can't see the guard player not getting tabled.
No, I mean there's a full 9-man squad of
Shining Spears,
Shining Spears.
you've only got a 9
which is why I said at the start that leaving them off till turn 3 was going to cost him.
Yeah, you're actually right. I thought he didn't need them because I assumed that. So those Dark Reapers, didn't shoot the Shadow Sword. They took out that bottom right unit of infantry, which we now know was an Eternal War objective. That one that was behind it, that unit that was that commander ran onto that one, and the Shadow Sword moved down and took the one the commander was on. So that was his 3 Eternal Wars to Jeremy's 1.
Yeah. So the commander on the bottom right-hand corner did advance to the other objective.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I said was going to happen.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. He needed,
huge call. But yeah, like I said, this was a turn 3 finish with the guard player literally only having one company commander, one Shadow Sword, and Celestine left.
And a Bulgrin.
And one Bulgrin, Bulgrin
And a Partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah, that's it. That's all he had left. The Shadow Sword was on 9 wins taken, so 9 wins left, which is just any time the Reapers shoot, they kill that. And then he had one character, which is easily sniped out, and Celestine to contend with.
Yep.
The 2+ invulnerable save Ogren Bodyguard. Who knows if it's ever going to die?
Yeah.
So you can't. At that point, you kind of give up on that one. You give it up. It's gone. You can have that one. You fight through the other 3. But yeah, turn 4, I think Celestine cannot live. She either gets smited out or gets shot down from double shooting Reapers, and so's the Shadow Sword's gone.
Yeah.
as well.
So I think in hindsight, and look, that is the benefit of hindsight. We get to see the results and then afterwards say what we might have done differently with that knowledge.
Yeah.
But those jet bikes going at that top corner just to babysit one Eternal War objective was wrong.
Yes, they could have gone down to the bottom.
Because they came down. They came down after Celestine had done her big move.
Double move. Yeah.
So how does Celestine go against 9 jet bikes?
She dies.
She dies.
She dies.
Yeah.
If they charge her, she dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look, what I was saying is instead he kills that company commander and the Shadow Sword with the jet bikes, and takes those 2 Eternal Wars away.
All right. So just to confirm, Jeremy Martino, Matt Aird won 11-9.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a very close game, but yes, in favour. So at this stage, WA have got enough battle points, being
Already.
81, to already get a draw, and
At
so
worst.
they need another 5 points. They need another 5 points.
So it's right now is 1 game outstanding. That's correct? The Knights versus Demons.
So just to clarify, just to answer someone's question, Dean needs a 16 to draw the round. 5 points. Yep.
There you go.
So,
That is
jeez.
it. We will wait for this round to finish, and then we'll give you guys another 10 minutes of content, and then we'll take a short break so we can have some food, and we'll be back for game 2 after that. So, what do you guys think of that round? Let's see the comments. I'm just having a quick look at the Demons game. All 3 Knights are still alive, and the board is covered in Demons. So, it very well could be that they only got to turn 2 or turn 3 themselves.
Yep.
But what's going to swing that game is more than likely the Knights have won the Maelstrom
Yep.
and probably the kill points. But if Dean has managed to snag every Eternal War on the big blob deep striking in, he could win that game by a couple of points. The problem is though, it's too bad, so sad for Vic. Dean needs to get pretty much a 20 or a 15.
He needs a 15 point win
to a draw.
to get a draw.
Anything-
No, sorry, he needs a 16 point win to get a draw.
get a draw.
Because
Yeah.
WA only needed 5 to get the win.
I can't see it being anything but... So that game to me looks like it's going to be a 10-10 draw at
Yep.
best for Dean.
At best. Yeah.
So we will look at... Should we talk about what went wrong?
Sure. So
I would very much like to know what games went to time, went to full turns.
Well,
we know that the night game.
I can definitely.
Yeah,
see
we know
that
the night
result.
game went to full turns. Went to time.
All right, so
Natural conclusion is what I mean to say.
yeah, so let's talk it through.
Let me cough.
Okay,
And read some comments as well. Let's see what people have been saying.
yeah, let me just.
Because a lot of people watching it from Vic, and they're just gonna probably be hanging shit. I know Eric's gonna be hanging shit. Oh, actually, mute Eric. He's gonna be intolerable. Mute him now. I don't want to read anything Eric has said.
So we've got shameful display from Vix from Hamilton. Turbo Max is how did the Tau go? So
The
the
Tau got
Tau.
one of the biggest wins. They got the 18-2
Yeah,
win.
Tim Rosenberg got an 18-point win with this
They
Tau.
got the second best win for Vic out of that round.
Yep. So still only 7 out of the 8 scores are in. However, Jeremy Martino, which is versus Matt Aird, which is obviously the table we just watched, got 3 turns with a 11-point win to Matt Aird
Yes.
from WA on 3 turns.
Literally the last minute of the last turn of the game, he managed to swing that back.
Yep.
So that was a big win, huge win for him.
So Matt Morrisoli was tabled on turn 5 by Tom White, but they had 5 turns.
Matt Marcelli got tabled. Ooh, I'll be interested to ask him how that happened.
Tim's the Tau list versus Harlequins, which so for Vic who got the 18, got 6 turns and ended naturally.
Yep.
Lee Abbey with his sisters versus Trav Kirk with Chaos Demons.
And you got
That was
12-8
a
win
12-8 win to Lee
Lee.
with only 3 turns.
Yep.
Dean.
We just got that. The final scores are in. It's a 90-70 WA's way. So WA win by 20 points.
Yep. So it's
That's not comprehensive, but that is a solid win.
well, it's a small win. That's a small win.
Yeah.
So 90 points is literally 5 points over the
It's a draw.
off the draw.
Yeah.
So
That'd be 5 points off their score.
yep.
5 points to the
So
other
basically,
score.
it came down to basically 4 wins to Vic, 4 wins to WA.
But WA's wins.
But
were huge.
WA's wins were all big,
With the exception
except
of
for
the
the
one.
one.
That's done, the
Yeah.
11-9.
So there was. Yeah. So there's a few people that they're now talking about the
boots on the ground
boots
rule.
on the ground rule.
Yeah.
What was the final score? So I do need to update that on the stream. So if you want to keep chatting, I'm just going to...
Yes, so what was the score in the Demons game? What did that come in as? I'll just have a quick look. So that is the Dean Sinbeck, Chaos Demons, versus Jake O'Grady. Ended up being a... What was it? So 16 VPs, 11, 9, 7... a 9-11 win to the Chaos Demons, so the Chaos Demons ended up winning it out. But nowhere near significant enough to pull that out. Look, that's pretty much what I said just then, didn't I? I can't see that being anything but pretty much a draw or under. And I was only 1 point off on that prediction, just from looking at the table state. And that must have been because Dean, turn 3, just dropped 80 dudes onto all the Eternal Wars and clawed it back. Similar to what we saw in that last game, but with just like a billion more models.
Oh, for sure. So another thing worth to looking at.
Oh, exciting!
Another thing to look at is how the Dream Team competition's
Yes.
going. Okay, so Ben Rigby is currently in first place in the Dream Team with 147.
Before we do this, we should cover the other winning losing teams.
Yes,
all the scores should be in.
Good point.
So we'll see who won out of the other matchups.
So let's go have a peek. So round one, we have Queensland versus the Mercs.
Yep.
The Merc team won.
Oh, wow.
So
that's
for the
huge.
record, this is the first time a Merc team has ever won a round.
Yes.
And they won at 92 to 68 battle points.
We don't want to bag past Merc, but historically they've been the underprepared mismatch hodgepodge.
Yep.
What's at the bottom of the barrel? Let's stick them all together, team. Them getting a win, props. Absolute props. And we know Queensland... We know who's running Queensland. They're going to be quite well prepared, quite well versed. But I did have some serious questions about some of their lists going into this.
Yeah, so the question from Tyrell Landis, which state sent teams? So we had Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, WA, and New Zealand sent a team this year. And that leaves us with 5. So we had a Merc team.
Everyone except Tassie and South Australia sent a team.
And ACT.
They're not a state. They don't count. Territories don't get teams.
Well,
Nah, seriously, Queens like Canberra, send one next year.
Yeah.
go.
So New South Wales got a win against New Zealand.
New Zealand? That's
Comprehensive.
huge.
Comprehensive. 140 battle points to 20.
That's nearly all 20s.
That probably is. I'll confirm the scores. There was a 15-5 and a 5, and everything else was 20s. So
That's
Jason Collins got a
ferocious.
15-point win against Ivan So's Necrons, and Jamie Kelly got a 5-point loss against Hayden Korat, New Zealand captain's Chaos Demons. But everything else, 20 zips.
So
to
we've just
New
got
South
Dan
Wales.
Martin here. How does it feel to be the best player in Victoria, Dan Martin? You're the only person who got a 20. Apparently, yeah.
So Daniel says that the rest of the Victorian team are scrubs.
Nice.
You heard it here, and we've said it too.
Hot from the presses.
That's that.
Yes.
Total Panics, do we know where ATC is being held next year? No. But I'm a betting man, and I would bet Queensland.
Yep.
So far, I believe they're the only state to put forward a bid.
That would suggest
so,
Queensland.
yeah.
Strongly suggest.
So the Mercs are mercenaries that fell in to make a 6 team? Yes, that's correct. So basically, it is pretty much a WA B team.
Yes, so they're holding on the host team to fill the Gumby spot, essentially, should there need to
Yep.
be one. Them winning a round, I'm pretty chuffed with that. I think good on them.
Stoked. Look, these guys have been the most prepared Merc team. They've acted like a team from the get-go.
From day one. 'Cause usually
They
what
have had a
happens
couple of dropouts because, of course, they're not they're not guaranteed to play until you know that you're going to have an odd number of teams. So South Australia, for example, dropped out, but they were going to be playing, and so you ended up with the situation where they were preparing, but during that preparation, G from WA, she was going to be captaining the team.
Yep.
And in the end, she ended up dropping out to run painting workshops at the convention. So, yeah, it would have been good to see. Look, I'll be honest, it would have been great to see not only the first female ATC player, but the first female ATC captain.
That would have been great.
So she captained the winning team for the WATC, which was awesome to see. I would love to see a more inclusive hobby environment. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Grimfang 88, prime example. That was a prime example of how the game can coin flip in an instant. Looking at the table, you assume Guard got smashed. Eternal War, what a changer. Well, you're absolutely right. Guard got absolutely poleaxed. I think they had under 20 wounds on the board at the end of the game.
Yeah, if
probably double.
If that didn't have a time limit,
Yeah.
that was a tabling.
That was a tabling.
But hey, we're a tournament, and there is
look,
time limit.
that is, to be honest, that is more the Inari player's fault. The Inari player obviously took more time than the Guard player that game.
Yep.
Obviously, to us watching it,
Yep.
the Inari player took longer, and that ended up hurting him.
Yep.
So had that player played faster, that would have been his game to lose.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, it was his game to lose.
Yep.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
100%.
So who else won? So Queensland lost. New South Wales.
Sorry, yes, let's go back to it. Yes, so basically we had Queensland lost
versus
to the Mercs.
That
It was close though,
yeah, that was close,
92-68. It was close to a draw.
Yep.
New South Wales beat New Zealand comprehensively, and WA got a tight win against Vic. As I said, 90 battle points to
80.
70.
That was the closest. That was the
That was
closest.
the
of
closest.
matchups.
And to be honest, I mean that was the round to watch.
It was.
So we did say the way the ATC has been managed this year. Actually, no, historically it's been managed this way. But because we have a smaller number of teams compared to something like the ETC,
Yep.
we have the exact number of team combinations as rounds. So you play every team once.
Yep.
So what we generally do is we prepare every round. So everyone already knows who they're playing next round. And the round after that and the round after that in the missions. So prep-wise, it's a lot easier to do your prep.
Yeah.
And the way we've done it this year is we seeded the pairings.
Yep.
So Queensland is the strongest ranked team, albeit based on previous ATC results, albeit they're not sending their historically dominant team, as we've just seen by that result.
Yeah.
However, so Queensland is 1, Vic is number 2.
Yep.
So they are playing each other in the final round. Now,
And which will we be bringing to you guys? That's one of the ones we've locked in.
So the other thing, so as a result, WA, based on their historic results, I can't remember exactly where they were ranked, but effectively they ended up being, I think they were ranked out of the teams in attendance, they were ranked 5th out of the 6. And because Vic was ranked 2nd out of the 6, 2nd played 5,
Yep.
1 played 6,
One played
and 3
six,
played 4.
etc.
Now,
All right.
the actual team's results this year are going to have no representation to historical rankings.
Yeah, of course.
Just not gonna
Different
happen.
edition. Different
Different
game.
edition, different teams.
Yeah.
New Zealand dominated when they were here in the
Absolutely.
in early days, but they haven't played.
Played in like 5 or 6 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so we're going to wrap this stream up, guys. We're going to go take a break.
Have something to eat.
What are we covering next? Who's on our table next lineup? Just so we give people something to come back to.
Well, how about this? Because we actually haven't picked who will be streaming. So, which teams, guys, in the chat, would you guys like to see?
And they neither WA or Vic. We want to give exposure to every team and give you guys a view of every team. So, of Queensland, Mercs, New South Wales, and New Zealand, who would you guys like to see up next? The first one to get 2 mentions by 2 different people will be the team we put on next.
Oh.
Do it. Come on,
Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
16 people in streams. Surely we get 2 comments. I'm trying to interact with you here.
No one?
Don't leave me hanging.
Come on.
You guys suck. I shouldn't tell them. We should not tell the audience they suck. One of the biggest faux pas. All right.
Okay, so
WA.
we can't watch
WA.
we can't watch WA. Whoever is
Who's
playing
playing
NIDs.
NIDs?
So
There were 2 NID teams?
There's a big NID.
There was the NID Blob. Who was that? Was that
Blob.
Merc? New Zealand. We have 1 vote for New
Alright, so
Zealand.
we're going to vote for New Zealand.
We have another person say New Zealand. They get it. Otherwise, you have to get 2 more.
New
for
South
somebody else.
Wales, Mercs, Queensland. Alright, so we've got
We have 1 vote for everybody.
Alright, so literally the next state out of those 4, New
That gets
Zealand.
mentioned.
Wardock says Queensland too. Alright,
Nah,
cool.
you're the same person. Don't care. You're saying Wardock needs to log on and tell us. You guys.
No. Hey, if
no,
Wardock
no.
actually, if we see Wardock sign on as a viewer, then yes, it counts.
Absolutely it counts.
Yep. And for those that are, they're about 20 second delay on your stream. Queensland it is.
Queensland it is. Sorry, Tyrolandis. Sorry, dude. You are 1 second too late. We will do Mercs game 3, man.
All right.
Wardock is drunk. I don't think anyone is surprised by that. Are we just going to go back on our
So
word?
we are going to go back on a word.
You made me look like a liar.
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to cover New Zealand versus Mercs because
I think we had Queensland mentioned.
no, because Queensland's playing WA, which we just and Vic's playing New South Wales.
Yes.
So,
okay.
we did say we were going to
sorry,
cover
guys.
a different table. So
Apologies to
unlucky.
Lengaff and Epi Cheese. So you guys are getting Queensland game 3, aren't they?
We'll we'll work out what game 3 is going to be.
Of course.
Yep.
Sorry for the false hope.
Yep.
We do like to dash hopes here. Fair call. Yeah.
All right.
It was just a ruse to disappoint you.
Look, with only 6 teams and the various combinations, we will guarantee we're going to see. No. We're going to guarantee that we're going to see a number of teams twice. Like you literally you can't do it when you're only covering 1 row.
Yep.
So we will take a quick break. We'll leave the stream going. We didn't end up trying to work out music because no one said. All right, so there won't be any music for this one.
But we'll try and get it for day 2.
Please,
no,
we'll even try and get it for the next break. If you guys can put in the chat what songs you would like to listen to, I will completely ignore it and pick something else. No, please give us a holler.
All right, we are out. Peace. Thank you so much for joining us. Spread the word. We'll be back in probably half an hour to 40 minutes, maybe a little bit shorter.
We'll probably be back a little shorter.
A little bit shorter. We're probably back in 2025, and we'll start bringing up what we think is going to happen in the next matchup.
Yep.
So we're going to take a break, have something to eat, and see you in a bit,
shortly.
guys.